KF2 Mike Papa. Okay, very good. And your name? I'm sorry, I messed up. Give me your name again. Did you say Phil?
T.O.
Did you get him, Clark?
Yeah, T.O. T-H-E-O.
Oh, all right. I guess I was... All right. That's different. Okay, very good. T.O. All right, KF2MP. This is WB2RON. My name is Ron. I'm on Long Island. Where are you located? Did you say hop hog? You're yelling too much. You got to back off the audio. Don't scream into the mic, because I can't understand you when you do that. Just talk normally. Deer Park, correct? I used to live there. I used to live in Dix Hills, the old country road. Was it Old Country Road border with Dix Hills? I lived about a mile north of there. That's where I went to high school, Hollow Hills in Dix Hills.
Is that where John Denver moved to?
Yeah. Okay. What was that? Was that Wes? I don't know who that was. Come on back.
I was just being a smartass. I said, is that where John Denver moved to? W3 MMR.
John Denver? No, he crashed his plane.
It was never mind.
Okay, very good.
He's still flying high, N2MIN.
Hey, Artie, did you get my email?
I sure did. Was that a kit that you bought?
A what?
Was that a kit? Kit that you put together, that you bought?
Oh, no, I bought discrete components. It's a little involved. I bought the parts from a place called TADA, T-A-D-A, I think it was. And I put it together, but I was lucky enough, a friend of mine built it first, and he had a couple of extra circuit boards, or an extra one. I don't know if he has any more. So, it was fairly easy for me to put that together. They give you the outline for a circuit board, and he actually had them made up, and he gave me a board, and, I just had to buy the parts. But, no, it was not a kit. I had to buy the discrete components.
Okay. I was just curious. I don't have the capability to make a circuit board like that, though. Looks like a nice kit. I did save the article.
Yeah, save it. Yeah, you can just get a vector board, a board that's got a lot of holes in it, and you can just build it on a vector board. You don't have to have a PC board. PC board, of course, makes it easier, but you can do it by hand.
Yeah, I guess you can. How big was the circuit board, roughly?
Oh, boy, I got it in the box here, and I can't even see it now. I would say maybe, something like 3 by 2, maybe 3 inches by 2 inches, something like that.
I may have a perf board there. It's a bunch of holes in a copper laminated circuit board. I may have one of those from Radio Shack yet.
Yeah, I had one of those too.
The frequencies in use.
Yeah, you can try it. I mean, it helps. Like I said, it will give you a little bit more average audio. It will bring it up. It's just something you can try. What did you think of how you sounded, though? It was good and clean, right?
Yeah, it sounded pretty good. I still have to change the splatter caps.
What happened here?
That would widen my bandwidth.
Get a 75.
I think it's 5.2 kilohertz or something like that. So that would be 10 point, well, the way it was 11.2.
W3 MMR. Radio W3. MMR. Radio.
That guy does that every time he gets on, man. Like, when I hear him, I just leave.
Who?
You know who.
was a lot.
You talking about? I don't know. There's two of them. I don't know. I'm not picking up with exactly who, but I have an idea.
Everybody's on 73, correct?
Yep.
Perry knew that he keyed up on a station calling CQ, who's now trying to come back to his call.
Hey, we're on 73.
I'm sorry to the extent I didn't see anything on the pan adapter. I couldn't hear him, so he must be down closer to you, Brian. My apologies to the CQ station.
Good evening to you, WCHJ. Reporting you heard me. Evening, Brian.
Jay, good evening from KB3WFV. I think everybody's here is flipped to 73. Perry, you said 75, and I think somebody else is on 73, so... Perry, you started the band show, so which frequency do you want, Perry? Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I know. I'm 73. I meant to say 73. And good evening, Kevin. If that was you calling CQ, my apologies. I didn't even notice that you were here calling CQ. It must have been a real deep fade or something, because I saw like a tiny blip on the pan adapter, but it definitely wasn't enough to hear any audio, so my apologies. And good evening, everyone. W3MMR.
Alright. 73 it is. Yeah, that's not the first time that's happened with him, Billy, so, whatever.
Are you talking about Long Island? Val Johnson, Ranger, Valley, whatever you had?
Kevin, but good evening to you. I'm hearing you here in Maryland here. It's just a bit of... I have the four land firing up a net underneath of me there, and I can't believe that the guys, well, whatever, they act like they don't hear us. So, and, well, we were having a QSO on 85, but we just lost that, so... Here we are. How are you doing, Kevin? Kevin, well, good evening to you there, and we didn't mean to take over there, but hopefully the other guy, you came in here bombing strong just a moment ago, and then went back quiet again. So the band hasn't figured out what it wants to do yet. But you doing all right with all this craziness going on? Has the cat decided to kill you yet? Go ahead. I guess the band went away. Alright, so Perry, Phil, and Bill are here. Who else?
Are there any other guys that don't know how to use their radios so we can spend an hour telling them how to use it?
And then get bumped out of the way. Oh, Phil. It's the rotavirus.
It's making people crazy. PHL.
Man, you're all super strong, Phil.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Band's been like this, I think, now for a couple of weeks, where it's like you're down at S9 and then you're 40 over, like in a matter of minutes.
Yeah, you're literally like minus 30 dBm in my radio at the moment. Sounding great. Brian, you're equally as strong. Everybody's strong. Unfortunately, I don't have a great copy on Kevin here. A little early yet.
Yeah. Phil, are you running an FTDX 3000?
5,000.
I had a friend asking me about a 3000. what do you recommend base settings for, if you're familiar with it at all, for starting out for it?
Oh, I wouldn't know. It's very narrow. I don't think you can control anything really on AM. I don't even think the equalizer works. I'm doing something totally different. I'm not using anything that's built into the radio.
Yeah, I know, but I just didn't know. What's the one that Rob has that has the cheat on it, where you boot it up with a 3-finger salute or something in it, and it opens things up on it? I didn't know what carrier power to tell this guy to run this 3000 at. I guess 1520 would be a safe spot to start.
Yeah, the 3000 is a 100-watt radio. 1520 watts is good. The problem is the ALC. And yeah, you can't put too much audio, and you also have to worry about the polarity of the audio. And because if you've got the wrong polarity, the ALC will kick in earlier. But that's tough to do, changing the polarity on a microphone, because then you need like a transformer to do that, flip it around on most mics anyway. If it's just a stock mic, you might be able to flip the wires around, but you got to pay attention to that, and so you need to be able to monitor your signal and see if you've got the right, phase or polarity, whatever you want to call it. And the other thing about it is it's strictly, I think it's 3,000 hertz of audio bandwidth. It's like 50 to 3,000, and it could sound okay. But it's and the EQ, I'm pretty sure it doesn't work. That's in the radio. And the trick, that's with the 2000, and you need old firmware in the radio also, because Yaesu took that little bug out. So you got to load old firmware in the radio. It's a bit of a production, and then you got to like trick it. There's like key buttons you got to press and hit the transmit switch, and it only stays in effect until you power off the radio, and then you got to do it again. It's a real pain, but that'll make it go out to 4,000, which doesn't sound bad.
Don't you have to do something with rosaries also?
Yes, exactly.
So did Ron get the Yaesu guy straight, or did you just kick him to the curb to talk about his own rig?
I have no idea. I kind of figured that Saigon was going to fall to the Forelanders, so I did what all the other rats did, and I jumped ship.
Oh, it's incredible down here. I've been listening to Heterodyne for the last 90 minutes.
Well, you can all go back up to 85 and throw their butts off.
The problem is net control doesn't hear me anyways, and I don't hear net control. I hear the other stations that are talking to net control, and that's what's frustrating about it. And I guess they figure, it's just my one quick turn, or they're listening. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're listening on SDRs. Who knows? But they do a very damn good job of ignoring me anyways. Oh well. I'll just put some kind of directional, like the loop antenna I was talking to you about the other day, up and notch them out, and then I can ignore them too.
Yeah, the only problem is those little loop antennas, they don't really notch anything for this band. They're only really good for ground wave, for notching. You'd have to get something more sophisticated, like those flagpole antennas that have that actually null out the skywave as well. Because I messed around with, I got 3 of those loops actually, and they don't do it. You could turn them all you want. It doesn't notch anything out when you're dealing with the skywave.
Would you buy some or made it yourself?
Bought, and I modified one, and the other 2 are just stock from the factory, and they're great. Low noise, and they're good for notching out, RFI. which is coming in at a low angle, and you can notch stuff out like that. Or if you were using it on the broadcast band and you're listening to ground wave AM, it'll be, it's a phenomenal thing to use. You get super deep nulls and everything else, but not so much for what we do.
Well, Phil, Kia, I'm gonna run outside and run a beverage. I'll go to one corner of the property, the other. I just want to make sure I point it straight towards you and feed it. What do you think about that?
There you go. Yeah, there's a lot of things you can do for directional stuff, but those little 3-foot loops, they're not that great. So for that anyway.
Yeah, I didn't think about the Skyway part of it. What the hell? I got one here. I was playing with it. I tried, and maybe I'll put a big 8-foot diameter one. I don't know, 16 foot. But I guess none of the loops are gonna null out Skyway. I don't know. How about an 80-meter wire beam? The 2-element, 3-element, 4-element?
Why not? You ever see some of those? They look just like any other beam, but they're just tremendous. Some guys have 3-element Yagis for 75 meters up on towers. It's like ridiculously huge.
What was that station overseas, Clark, that had the 160-meter antenna that they got caught? They had some power failure, and the auto rotator failed during some ice storm, and it brought it come crashing down. ON something.
Yeah, I think they were in Finland, and they had a 3-element 160-meter beam antenna on top of a tower. Think about that, folks. And it was rotatable. But yes, that's what happened. There was a power failure during an ice storm, and the system was designed to rotate the antenna for minimum ice collection, and it failed. And the ice collected, and then the whole tower failed. It was ugly.
You gotta wonder, what does that feel like? When you go out and you just look at that the wreckage. That's got to be a horrible feeling.
You mean like after all that money and all those permits and all that construction and all that effort, and now it's just recyclable metal? Yeah.
Yeah, it was some club. The one that breaks my heart is the guy that out in the Midwest somewhere that put up this huge round tower, and then he used tower sections as cross booms for 4 beams. So it was they were stacked arrays. So imagine the tower going up, and say at 80 feet there was a horizontal section of tower sections, and it held a beam on each end, and then go up another 20, 40, 60 feet, whatever, and here's another horizontal section of tower that held 2 beams. This thing was just massive, and he had it on the air, and I think he worked it for just a few months, and passed away, and the estate tore it all down.
Yeah, you gotta wonder what estates are gonna do to all our stuff. It's like, get a dumpster. Call, what's that company? 1-800-GOT-JUNK. Come on by, guys.
They're a fascinating company, Ken, or Phil. They'll come and clean up the junk, and they take it back to the warehouse and sort it out. And if it's sellable or reusable, they sell it through, kind of, what do you call it, thrift store type of thing. And if it's recyclable material, they'll collect it in big 30-yard cans and sell it off to metal recyclers or linen recyclers or paper recyclers. And the rest of it that's legitimately trash, they just go throw it in their landfill.
How does the jingle go for that company that recycles ham radio gear? 1-800-RIGS for lids. 1-800-RIGS for lids. Yeah, it's the thing where they come in, they take away your rigs for free and give them to lids. What an operation, huh? N1BCG.
You had to do that.
Oh, call me the upsetter, yeah.
Oh, God. That stupid Cars for Kids commercial is what he's mimicking there, right?
Yeah,
no, rigs for lids. Think about that. That's right. When you become worm food, your thousands of dollars of top-of-the-line equipment ends up going to technicians.
That's because by the time you kick the bucket, the equipment is so antiquated, it's not worth... What was the one? An 80-year-old dynamotor?
Yeah, it's guaranteed to have those SKs rolling in their graves.
I'm going to have that stonk stuck in my head now for the whole night. Thanks, Clark.
Yep, just remember, 1-800-RIGS for lids.
That thing starts... I've gotten to the point where the first 2 bars of it on a commercial plays on the radio, and the radio's off.
Well, now there's a ham radio twist to it, and you'll appreciate it some more.
It will definitely catch your attention.
One 800 hams for kids.
No, rigs for lids.
Okay. Not doing that.
That's right. How to put your ham equipment in the hands of the inept.
I hate to bring this up, but because I don't really know the answer to it, but there's that ham club in Staten Island, and some guy's been collecting radio gear for this ham club for like 30 years. How much stuff have they collected since the 80s? I'd love to know.
I'm sure it's all on eBay.
I mean, oh man. Anyway, yeah, I think they still advertise in QST.
That's right. So, does anyone know if they ever got the guy with the 101's rig going on fixed, tuned in?
Ron walked him up to 85 and then said, well, check your RIT, and then launched into a conversation about some board or something with somebody else. I don't know what happened to him, and then I lost track of Ron because the whole wind creeped up on me. And so we came down here.
It actually sounds like
okay.
If you tune off. So you were actually on, Clark, when you said, why don't you tune your RIT off a little bit? Because at least there it'll be a lot easier for him to hear. I couldn't hear him half the time because my synchronous detector on this thing goes completely ape shit when somebody goes off frequency, so I just turned the volume down. But once I heard that he wasn't gaining much ground, once he got off frequency, yeah, he'll be able to deal with it, and but I think you're right, because those things are narrow, they suck. Basically, those things suck to receive, so if he tunes off with his RIT, I think that's the best option for him.
Y'all gonna make me pull my 101 out and put it on the bench.
Go right ahead, let's have a 101 party. It'll follow Ladies' Night this Saturday night.
Yeah, we're getting popular, you know, man. There's a whole bunch of people. Some of those things sound damn good, too, though, with the modifications. And, you know, they sound great. You wouldn't even know what that was. Unfortunately, his was not one of them.
Well, apparently there's an ultra-simple K1 KBW mod which involves a capacitor and a transformer, I think, and that's it. And I've heard a rig sound like I've heard a rig modified as such with the ultra-simple mod, and it sounds like a Class E rig. So it's pretty impressive. See, I like that. Maximum gain, minimum effort, and it's not the lazy man way out. It's I don't like modifying classic rigs. So if you can do the minimum amount of molesting and get the maximum amount of performance out of it, you know what? I like that kind of stuff. And one BCG.
Back in the day, in the Citizens Band days, those were the performers. If you had a ham rig like a TS-130 or any Kenwood rig, they'd sound muddy if you overdrove those. Those Yaesus were good transmitters on AM, and you're 100% correct, Clark. If you do mod those a little bit and snap a decent mic on that thing, they sound pretty goddamn good. So, yeah, they'd be a great driver, or used as is if you have a good antenna system. K1 GTF.
That's okay. We're all getting used to everybody sounding like them as they're talking.
Oh.
Yeah, with face masks on. I'll be back. KB3WFE.
Okay, everybody, stand by. We've got I heard a KB something. We're going to have to talk them in. KB something. Okay, first thing we want you to do is...
Take off your mask!
Never mind. When that guy first broke in, I swear, if he would have said, I just crash landed, I'm on the side of a mountain, we're eating each other because we ran out of food, it would have been totally believable.
I like that movie.
You know, every commercial flight I've taken, that's been the eastbound movie that they show. Kind of odd.
You're kidding.
Oh, yeah. This is back in the days when they forced everybody to watch the same movie, you know, before the seatback screen. So you get settled in, you get the program guide, you know, in the magazine, the in-flight magazine. So you flip to the back and you see all the different channels. You know, classical, pop, country, and then the movie, oh wow, alive, 1972 thriller, blah, 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 a little description, and the audio will be on channel 10 and 12. And the headsets are available for $5. It's like, wow, they showed this on a flight? Huh.
Yeah, I remember that they had the big screen. I always wondered, would they ever like show airport or something like that where the plane crashes and disintegrates?
Oh my God. I had the last wacky thing that happened with an in-flight movie for me was on Air Jamaica. We were coming back from Montego Bay to New York, and they were showing, what was it? Oh, Marley and Me, that's it, with Jennifer Aniston and her dog. It's a really nice movie. I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a real heart-wrenching scene at the end. And so the flight was on time, but they started the movie late. So they said, ladies and gentlemen, the flight attendants the cabin crew is going to be coming around to collect your headsets, per rules for landing. But because we started the movie late, we're going to put the rest of the movie audio on the sound system, on the overhead speaker. So those of you who are watching the movie can continue to enjoy it right through landing. Oh my God. Everyone on that plane had to hear the soundtrack because they put it on the ceiling speakers. Not one dry eye of all the passengers, I can't even imagine if you were like waiting to meet a passenger off that flight, because you'd wait at the gate and every single person getting off the plane would be wiping tears from their eyes, because we were all subjected to hearing and seeing the end of Marley and Me. What a disaster. And one BCG.
That's great, actually. That's a great story. Game with GT.
I mean, it's like, people be like, what the hell happened on that flight? It's like, we all had to watch the end of the movie, and it was really upsetting.
I'm so glad to see you. I'm so glad to see you, too.
Well, that would be how you put the spin on it. Okay, this is where someone brings up something interesting to talk about.
Well, air disasters. I don't know. I don't want to be in a plane that's going to crash land, but I would take that over the most terrifying thing I've seen. I think it was that TV show Lost, and I'm sure they've done it in other movies too, where, you know, the crash landing part, all right, you're going to crash land. But in that particular show, the fuselage broke apart, like, during turbulence. And the whole plane just, like, split open. That, to me, was absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, there were a few liberties taken in that, but it was cool. I remember seeing the trailer for the first episode of it, and I immediately called my girlfriend at the time, because she was a pilot also. I said, "You're not going to believe there's this show which starts with this airliner crash. We've got to watch it." And she was awesome. She was like, "Absolutely, get the channel. I've got it all set up. Let's go." So, sickos.
Yeah, because like now you're sitting in the cabin, and it's like you're there. You know, where is the tear gonna happen? Like, am I gonna be in the back, or am I gonna be in the front? When it all breaks up and falls to the ground. Yeah, I don't know. It's just that you're that much closer, because now you're part of that whole scene. It's not like, oh, engine failure. You know, that's outside. Like, you're inside. Ugh.
You know, this is one of the most remarkable things to happen in an air disaster. This is actually true. I know, coming from me, it's hard to believe, but I'm going to redeem myself. There was I think it was a mid-air collision, and there was a jet, which, of course, everyone plummeted to the ground, but there was one survivor. And it was a flight attendant who was in the tail section of the plane. She actually lived. She fell some like tens of thousands of feet in the tail section of this plane, and lived.
Wow, that's crazy. That would be a great thing for Mythbusters, but I don't know where they'd get volunteers. Like, you ever imagine falling out of a plane and like, okay, here comes the ocean, and like right at the last second you're traveling at terminal velocity, 120 miles an hour. Is there a tuck position? Can you get into the ultimate like cannonball or to hit the water, or is it the other way around? Should you go in like straight like a knife? I don't know. I somehow don't think you're going to die no matter what. But I mean, you must be thinking that if you're conscious and you're heading toward the water, right? What's my best angle of entry?
Now, Phil, if you're a passenger on an airliner, and then the next moment later you're like making your dinner selection, fish or chicken, and then a moment later you're hurtling towards the ground at terminal velocity, if you can actually at that point in time decide whether you should, which position you should assume for just the point where you impact the water, you must have like cast iron ones. That's really, truly amazing.
Yeah, well, that's the stuff that keeps me up at night, you know. You need to know that stuff. And because, like, these poor people, like that Flight 800, I don't think that was really... They were only at like 10 or 12,000 feet or something like that. They were still climbing. So it's like those poor bastards, they were alive the whole way down. It's terrible. Anyway, this is depressing. W2PHL.
I don't think they were, because let's think about that. What happened is the center fuel tank exploded, which means it blew the front... Oh, this is a fun topic, huh? Which is blew the front part of the aircraft, which is everything forward of the wing root, which is like the where the wing attaches to the aircraft. That's the strongest part, by the way, the fuselage. It blew that part off forward. Well, what ended up resulting is the burning fuel now was sprayed upwards, and fire filled... This is a great topic. Filled the cabin, so I don't think that there was much thinking going on. I think it was mostly singeing.
Sucked all the air out.
Yeah, like this conversation. Sucking all the air out.
Yeah, this was fun until somebody started with all this disaster talk.
But you've never, oh God, you've never considered that in a free fall above water, what would be your best solution for a chance at survival?
I would love to think that that's what would be going through my mind, but I don't think I could think with all the screaming going on from my own mouth.
You need to get out more, Phil.
Oh, tell me about it. Every night, 1:30 or 2 o'clock, it's like Groundhog Day. I wake up and that's it. I start worrying about falling from airplanes. Anyway, not like I'm going to be flying anytime soon, though. Yeah.
I haven't had a falling dream in years.
Working out well for you.
I haven't had a falling dream in years.
And do you wake up with, like, your leg kicking? Have you done that? I've had that. I've had, like, a falling dream, and I woke myself up and I ended like kicking my leg and knocking the sheets out from under the mattress.
Oh, there's been many times where I've... hold on a second here. Yeah, there's been many times where I've, like, been kicking something in my dream. You know, like literally, I've kicked her multiple times, or like I punch in my dream, you know, like I'm like trying to get somebody off of me, and like I'm flailing. And the one time I knocked my fan clear, like I have a little nightstand next to my bed, and knocked the fan clear right off the nightstand.
That was a perfect double, and very dreamlike, because I could hear both of you guys.
Okay, do I got it?
Yeah, another perfect double. I'm going to say eeny, meeny, miny, mo, Perry, you go.
Okay, let me make sure. All right. No, I kick a lot and punch a lot in my dreams. I've punched my ex before, my ex-wife. I've punched her before and kicked her. And I've knocked the fan clean off my nightstand. I keep a fan on at night, and I've punched that thing clean off the nightstand.
That's abuse.
Oh, my God.
Is that a dream or what?
He's dreaming Fight Club.
Nobody doubled with you, Perry. They were just quick on the key after you. Go ahead.
Oh, boy, that was real quick.
Lightning fast. Quick key McDraw.
That's right.
We're questioning whether or not there was dream reactions or, well, you know, that's one way of avoiding domestic violence charges. I was sleeping.
That's right.
I'm not quite comfortable with the way you agreed with that.
So anyway,
that would be a good topic to bring up on 3885 on Saturday night.
Oh boy, would it. What, has your spouse ever punched you in the middle of the night?
nah, no more. we don't need any more weird topics because I'm already being losing friends for the topics that are on here now. But who cares?
What, did someone unfriend you on 3873?
Oh no, just people blocking me on Facebook because I get on here at night and I've been mistaked for Billy and I've been blocked for that. It's quite funny actually.
Hey, you know what? Can't please everyone.
That's not Billy?
Right? No, yeah, no. Well, apparently I don't know, whatever, man. I just think it's funny.
I thought getting blocked on Facebook is like a badge of honor. It's like being a bad boy, like a scar.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just, I don't know. The thing that I find funny about it is that everything is fine. Everything's fine on the air, and then I'm like, well, I haven't seen any posts from so and so in a while. And then I find out I'm deleted and blocked. Like, what was that for?
Oh, that's cool. It happens to me weekly, so.
Yeah, I don't care. Whatever, man. People are pansies, got thin skin.
Exactly. So sorry for you. Maybe next time.
Ooh, maybe next time. So anyway.
Maybe you're just a bad ham, Perry.
Apparently, I'm a bad ham because of who I hang out with. But I you know what? I could care less. I really could not. Oh, excuse me. I couldn't care less. That's what I mean.
What happens with bad hams, Secretia straightens them out.
It's just funny, man. I'm nice to everybody. I try to be cordial with everyone. I try to let everyone break in. I try not to be rude to people. I try to be all-inclusive. I try to get on with people in the mornings in different groups. But still, apparently I'm a bad ham. That's cool, though. That's less people I got to worry about.
Oh, you a bad ham. Squeal for me, you bad ham.
Oh, you so bad. Oh, you so bad. You're so bad.
Oh, so bad.
All right, I have to leave. You guys are going to get me in trouble and get me kicked off of the forums. Have a good evening, guys. W2PHL.
I think what Perry's talking about is just individual friends blocking them. You know how you can go through your Facebook pages or your social media pages and block messages for posts from this type of person, or even on the forums you can go in and ignore this user or whatever. I think that's what he's talking about. Of course, I should ask him because he's on frequency. Perry, what are you talking about?
That's what I mean. And the funny thing is about it, and it's not even the guy Philip, the one that Billy's had a spat with about the forums and stuff. It's not even him. Me and him get along fine. It's other people. You would think it would be him.
Well, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you get up early in the morning. You cracked me up the other day. You got on with the military net. Not the military net. The AM crew that's on 85 here in the morning. And you went through about one round of the round table, and then you said, well, I'm going to go lay down on the couch and take a nap before work. It put me right back to sleep too, Perry.
Yeah, man. I usually get up at 5. I get on at 5. Sometimes I'll get on at 4:30 and operate until 7. And I usually get on with the same group on 85 every morning. But there's a few mornings where I don't get to bed till 10 o'clock, and then I wake up and I get on here and go through one round, and I can't keep my eyes open, so I'm like, all right, I'm going to lay back down on the couch for an hour.
I don't know how you do it.
I hear you every morning, basically.
I tried paying attention to that round table one morning, and you were in there, and your dad was in there. It was like, oh my God. My head hurt. I couldn't keep who was in line, what, where, and like every 5 minutes they were talking about what the order is, and I thought about emailing you. There's a program called NetLogger where everybody can log into NetLogger and see the bar drops down. The net controller drops the bar down to the next person on who's in the queue, so and it lets you drop people out and add people in. And I don't know if them guys are interested. Some of them guys, you know, their shacks are so antique they don't even have a cell phone in their shack, you know.
No, yeah, no. And the thing is, sometimes that group gets really big in the mornings. Like that's why I get up at 5, because I like to get on before it gets really big, and have some time to talk. Because if you get in there around 6 o'clock, man, sometimes there'll be 10, 12 people in a round table, and it takes 45 minutes for it to come back around to you. And people, you know, don't like to write things down and can't remember who they turn it to, or, you know, there'll be literally, after you unkey, there'll be one or two breakers after every time somebody unkeys, there's a breaker. So it gets real confusing. And generally, either me or Kevin, GZQ, are the ones that keep a good order with things. So people end up looking to us for what the order is. Well, more so Kevin than me. I feel bad for him a lot of the mornings. But lately, the conditions have been so crappy, there hasn't been that many people on in the morning. So it hasn't been as big as it usually is. But we get guys in there from Maine all the way down to Florida, out to Texas, and you know, out to Missouri, and you know, we get a good half of the country in there.
Yeah, it was a pretty big group there. You know, it's just they're just all screwed up at 9:30 and got up at 3. The other night I passed out at 11 and was up at 4. So I was telling that to a fellow business owner this morning. He says, okay, well, when you wake up this morning at 4 o'clock, tomorrow morning at 4 o'clock, call me at 4:15, because I'll be doing the same damn thing. It's just stupid. You wake up and the brain takes off thinking of all these different things with work and everything. So a couple of times I've come in here and put the headphones on and just turned the rig on and listened to that group. And I couldn't do it, Perry. My hat's off to you. I'm like, wait, what? Who? Next? Who? Where? Who do I turn it over to? I'll just throw it in the air.
And 2 MIN.
Speaking of throwing things in the air.
Hello.
Well, see you later.
Hello, Perry.
Hello, Art.
What'd you guys do? You leave me there with a hanger, or somebody throwing a carrier? Couldn't even talk.
What are you talking about?
Somebody throwing a carrier on 3885 before. Trying to talk to Daryl and Ron, and all I heard was heterodyne. Anyway, we're on the big rig tonight. My DX60. That's my big rig.
Yeah, we'll turn the audio down a little bit. You're a little bit over-modulated there, but good evening to you, Art. Well, Brian, yeah, it gets a little hectic in the mornings. But as long as you have a pen and a piece of paper, and all you got to write down is who turns it to you and who you turn it to. And then unless somebody, you know, breaks in before you, sometimes the person who turns it to you might change, but usually the person you turn it to is always the same. So, but round tables aren't for everybody. A lot of people don't like round tables. I like round tables in the morning because I like to get up, drink coffee, and I get all talkative in the mornings and like to blab.
Well, the other thing that I find interesting is they get the order screwed up and they'll double. I think I've heard some of the most long-winded doubles occur during roundtables. No, it's cool. I mean, it's neat to listen to some of them stations, and it's kind of cool to hear some of the signals come from out west and down south there that early in the morning, and the band's really in good shape. When the band's in good shape, it's quiet. All the adjacent stations and most of the atmospheric noise is gone. And a couple of those mornings there, everybody was pounding right in here. So it's interesting. So you're good at it, and you sound good. So, and I guess you're doing the recordings on those too.
Yeah. Well, lately I've been, doing the live stream a lot. But before I was just recording them and putting them on YouTube. there. Anyway, I'm going to shut up. There's a whole bunch of people in here. W3 MMR. Clark, how's the antenna project?
Fine business, Len.
Cool.
Good talk.
Yep, great talk. Hike.
I guess everyone went back to 85.
I don't know. I don't know. Boy, it was beautiful out today, man. What was the weather like up there? Like 70 degrees and sunny here.
What, here?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I was inside the whole time. Tuesdays are hell days for work, so I was out twice short. I think it was nice. I was out twice for a very short amount of time, but hopefully it'll be nice tomorrow, and then I'll really be able to check it out.
Yeah, me too. I'm off tomorrow, so I plan on getting out the house at least a little bit. Yep. Don't you have the radio program tomorrow night?
Well, no, tonight, Super Tuesday.
I get it confused. Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever.
That's right. And on BCG, well, that's all done, so that's why I'm here to play.
Hey, Clark,
Yo!
you see the Blue Angels?
No. There's like 12 people who all emailed me, and it was on the radio, and it was well promoted, and of course I never got to go check it out. Oh well.
I heard them pass by twice. Once at my house, and once I was over in Malvern, which is west of here. And you can hear the roar, the thunder in the air.
Very impressive. I think it was a great idea that they did that because the Navy and the Air Force have budgets for air shows, to promote that that kind of thing to the public, and a lot of the air shows have been canceled because of the COVID-19. So the money is sitting there for these air shows, and the air shows are basically canceled. So somebody came up with the idea, like, well, why don't we basically do this? The flyovers in the various cities. It's not just here. They're doing it here. They're doing it in Tampa. They're doing it in a whole bunch of different major cities. And so I think it's a very good use of allocated funds, just to make sure that the money is spent for the reason that it was intended. So good for them. Now I just wish I saw it.
From what I understand, they flew over all the hospitals in Long Island.
Yes, that I saw the flight path, and I said, there's a reason for this. This is a relatively complex flight path. And I'm sure they're doing this on purpose, so that would make sense.
Yeah, they flew by around here too, around Philadelphia, and then kind of like veered off over into Jersey right before they kind of got to here in my city here. I wasn't even paying attention, so I completely missed it.
I saw a C-130 fly over the house about 6 o'clock or something.
A buddy of mine posted he saw a refueling plane. It was a C-130, probably for refueling, possibly. And I bet it was like the ones up in, I think that they did New York and Long Island first and then came down here, or vice versa.
Well, he was flying northwest. And usually they have a C-130 as a support plane with the mechanics and all of that stuff. They usually, on Memorial Day, they do a flyover at Jones Beach, and they kind of park their planes, or whatever you want to call it, land their planes over Republic Airport. That's where they come stay for Memorial Day weekend. So I don't know where this guy was coming from, but it was coming from that general direction.
Yeah, band's quiet tonight. Very quiet.
And one BCG, for lack of anything better to say.
And to MIN, whoever cares.
W3 MMR.
How's the audio now, Perry? Better?
You dropped it down too much.
Alright, we'll do it a little bit more.
More.
Alright, I'll start eating the mic.
There you go.
That was the problem.
Mod monitors
Eating the
are
mic.
fantastic.
Yeah, it sounds better now, Art.
Yeah, I see my negative peak limiter flash a little bit.
Well, there's, yeah, that's fine. As long, you know, if you, every once in a while, you know, you hit that baseline, it's okay. That's what that negative peak limiter is there for. You don't want to have it, you know, lit up like a Christmas tree the entire time you're modulating, but, you know, a flash here and there is A-okay.
Gotcha. How's that amplifier going?
It's doing good. Works fine. Everything is working good on it. Does it sound okay? Does everything sound okay, guys? I want to make sure my station is HiFI business, OM.
Sounds wonderful.
And you guys sound equally as wonderful.
I don't feel like I'm in an MIR machine and getting bad memory back.
Well, that's a good thing.
Before the way it was humming in the background, it sounded like the inside of an MIR machine, and it was bringing back flashbacks.
I know. They do say, it's funny, because I listened to a recording. I think I listened to that recording that when you said that. And it does kind of sound like sitting in an MRI machine. Just that, like when that thing fires up, it starts, or a CAT scan machine, it's like, going around you.
Yeah, have you ever had to be in one?
Yeah. Well, I've never had an MRI, but I had a CAT scan.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. They shove you down that tube, and there's this little screen, and you hear them come over the little scratchy computer. Okay, hold still. The machine's gonna make lots of noise.
Right, and I'm sitting here wondering, like, is there any metal in my body?
Perry, I'm a ham radio operator. I've seen stuff arc out.
Right? Phew, man, like, I get nightmares, man. Anytime I ever had a CAT scan, I'm sitting there thinking, like, something better not come flying out of me. You know, or I'm sitting there thinking, like, man, is that piece of metal still in my eye? Did I ever get that out?
That's an MRI, Perry, not a CAT scan.
Well, whatever. Still. I guess MRI stands for, like, magnetic something, right?
Resonance imaging.
You know, last MRI I was in, it ruined my iPhone.
I don't think you were supposed to take your phone in there.
I told him I had emails to address, and the doctor said, okay. Huh. I think he should have elaborated on that okay a bit.
Okay, OM.
Yeah, it's definitely, you know, you're cool, okay, all I gotta do is lay down on this thing, and they're gonna push a button, slide me in there, and push a button and slide me out, and it's like, oh, you know, okay guys, let's hurry up, it's a little tight in here.
So, a CAT scan doesn't have anything to do with a magnet? So I thought it did. I thought, like, with a CAT scan, they ask you if there's any metal in your body or anything.
Oh. Dr. Perry Meyer to the 5th floor, please. Dr. Perry Meyer to the 5th floor.
Here the 5th floor is the psych ward.
Yeah, no, it's definitely the psych ward, yeah.
I'm not sure. That might be George on a different mic.
This is truly amazing. So, for those of you who think people just don't listen, hear me up. I got a email just now from Ron, and it's titled 33,000-Foot Fall. Vesna Volovic, an air stewardess who survived the highest ever fall by a human being after her plane broke up at 33,000 feet, that's 10,000 meters. According to investigators, Volovic was trapped by a food cart in the plane's tail section as it plummeted to Earth in freezing temperatures. How about that?
How the hell did she survive?
Well, I'll have to wait for the next email. But anyway, there you go. And by the way, Ron, thank you for sending that. That's just remarkable. That's just remarkable. It's like having a total support team on frequency. I love that.
You ever had their crackers on a plane, Perry?
Yes, I like the graham crackers.
She was trapped in a food cart.
Well, yeah, Vesna Volovic. I mean, it's like this is the real deal. She's cute too.
Wow, off topic, but okay.
Oh, she's died. She's dead now. She died at 66 in 2016.
A little old for you, maybe.
Just a tad. She was born in 1950, so she was 1 year older than my father.
You like the Cougars, huh?
Yes, they like their Perry Bear.
All right, listen to this. Following the crash, Volovic spent days in a coma, having fractured her skull and then hemorrhaged. She also suffered 2 broken legs, 3 broken vertebrae, one of which was crushed completely. Her pelvis was fractured and several ribs were broken. Her injuries resulted in her being temporarily paralyzed below the waist. She had total amnesia from the hour preceding her fall until 1 month afterwards. She first learned of the crash about 2 weeks after it occurred from her parents, and she fainted upon being shown the newspaper headline when the doctor showed it to her and had to be tranquilized.
Well, yeah. Can you imagine that? Put yourself in her shoes. You know, people think, oh, you know, she plummeted 33,000 feet and then stepped out of the wreckage, summoned the cab, and went to the nearest newspaper to report what happened. I don't think so.
She was probably screaming all the way down.
Well, that would have been me. N1BCG, good evening. Are we on now?
Mark?
Yes.
That guy was on 85 there in, where the heck he is. Rebroadcasting? Is that normal ops?
Will they oh, hear that? That's feedback from my scanner. See, now they finally got with it and found the happening frequency. So now, ladies and gentlemen, 3873 is being rebroadcast on 446-925 through the New York Area of Dominant Influence, the ADI, Arbitron-rated #1 market. So we're now AM and FM. I'm flattered.
HF and UHF. HF and UHF.
Everything. I try to catch you guys all covered. 446-925. How good or how bad you are.
All right, Jack. Yeah, you're, well, there you go. It's coming in fine business.
The other guys do it? I don't know who they
Well, this frequency has got people from all over the place. I mean, all the way down to Maryland and up to Maine, so that's a bit of a stretch. But it's nice to have, easy scanner coverage in the New York Metro. Now that is too funny.
I got the new Yates microphone that go on and give me a little bit more power.
Well, your audio actually sounds really good. What rig are you using?
In my Kenwood CS690F.
Well, I don't know. The lash up you've got is really good. The audio seems maybe a little bit low, but it sounds really good on AM.
Yeah, I can actually hear you down here, Jack. Once you turn the audio up a bit, was able to start making out what you're saying. W3 MMR.
What's the frequency? 446 what?
What's the frequency, Kenneth?
925. 446-925. It's Jack in Syosset. But that's coming out of one of my repeaters in New York City. And Clark, how does this sound? Over.
Holy crap!
Bombing loud. What did you do?
Yeah, you're like 35 over now.
Okay, very simple. I'm using the my FT1000 Delta with a VO1000 linear amplifier, and I have it set. Let me just give you a dead carrier. Carrier set for 280 watts out. 280. How's that? Over. Fantastic.
Yeah, you sound great now.
Yeah, and how does the audio sound? And there's a reason I'm asking.
Very respectable.
Really good.
Very respectable.
All right, good, because I paid $650 for this microphone, this Yaesu M1, and
holy.
And that was my concern that it wasn't going to sound good on AM, but yeah, 446-925, and that's coming out of New York City.
New York City or Syosset?
Okay, well, the HF radio is in Syosset that's going into the New York City repeater up on 446-925. Where are you located?
I'm in Northport. This is N2YKX.
You might be able to hear my Huntington repeater you should hear on 448-225. 448-225. You should hear that one.
That's a Roger.
Yeah, as you tune it in, you'll hear yourself.
I have to grab the little radio. I don't have it down here.
Go grab it. You'll be pleasantly surprised.
By the way, Jack, on Saturday night, 7 p.m. on 3885 is Ladies' Night. We're trying to do a big push to get YLs and XYLs on the air, so that would be a great show, if you will, to carry on your repeater if you're around.
Yeah, and it all depends. I'll be happy to do it. It all depends on where the people are located, and I can tell them what repeater to tune into, and they'll hear it.
Well, I don't know. This 446-925 seems to get around everywhere.
Oh, it does. And if you also listen on 448-225, I believe that you will hear it also.
Yeah, the signal strengths are both very close. I'm across the water here in Connecticut, but it's I don't know. I always listen to 925.
Yeah, no, listen anywhere you like. You know, it's simulcast.
Simulcast. Look at that.
Buster's
AM and 2 FMs.
Oh yeah, and it works fine both ways. Now, if you can get it in stereo, you'll be doing good. Yeah, but we're in AM. I don't know if there is there. Yeah, there is AM stereo.
So wait a minute. So Jack, how are you? I'm kind of curious how your system works. So are you on your HF rig directly and then on the repeater, or are you using the repeater to access your HF rig?
I'm physically in my shack. I am physically talking to you through an HF radio, an FT1000 Delta, running a VL1000 linear amplifier, running, like I said, when I'm
280 watts into the tower. I have a 89-foot crank-up tower, full-wave dipole, and that's what I'm doing. And I'm using, in other words, my this HF radio. Now I can go over to the one that you're listening to, which I'll do in a second. Hold on. So now I'm talking on the HF radio that's tied into the repeaters. CS690. Yes, I'm sure it's not a cloud, ever.
Well, the signal level dropped, but I guess what I was curious about is when you were on your HF rig, how was the audio getting on the repeater at the same time?
I have it wired up to do it. I have it hardwired to be able to do that.
Oh, so when you key up, it keys both?
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to go on. And they call it communication quality. You can hear what I'm saying. It doesn't count anything goes this way. And now I'm on a UHF 8T. Over.
No, now you just sound like a guy on an ICOM 706.
Yeah, I agree. And this is my HiFI microphone directly on the radio that you're listening to, the PS 690F.
I think it was better the other way when you were on your main rig.
Oh, no question about it.
Well, I mean, I hear you fine on the repeater, but I mean for everybody else.
No, I know that. I'm sure. You're absolutely correct.
But I thought your repeater transmits through the rig you're talking on with the amp.
No. Right now it's there for the amp that's associated with this is the Alpha 87. And unfortunately, something needs to look here. Got a $3,500 repair bill which I paid, got it back, and lo and behold, it never turned on. I sent it back out there, and now I can't get hold of the guy because of the pandemic. So until he comes back to find out what's wrong with it, I'm a QRP here, 25 watts.
This is really funny getting feedback from a UHF receiver. If it weren't for this repeater, I'd swear I had some kind of a spur or something.
Oh no, there's no spur. No. And you can also do, like I said, on 448, 225.
Excuse me. Yup, so that's pretty cool, man. Crossband repeat on 3873 W3 MMR.
Yeah, Perry, I heard you on the repeater here.
That's great, Andrew. Yeah, it was the other night when we first figured this out, and I said hi. I'm like, hi to all the guys on 446, whatever the frequency was, and Clark was listening. He's like, and they were like, how can he hear us all the way down there in Philadelphia? How is that possible?
Yeah, listen, I talked to the guys in Australia on it. I mean, it's no big deal, especially when I got the Alpha running.
I know. I think it's funny that the guys were like, they were really, and we got All right, I'm just gonna spill the beans here because he's probably listening. Don, KE1MB the other night, me and Clark, we were messing around with it. I guess we pushed it a little longer than we should have. But he just bought a brand new IC 7300. We're like, man, you're coming through this repeater in New York City, and we're not coming through it. You should check out your radio. You got the warranty card for it? Clark was like, it's probably missing a few QC stickers on the back of the radio.
Oh, so you had fun breaking his balls. That's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
Oh, I got it on recording. It went on for a good half hour.
Yeah, then I got some, I don't know, snail mail or email from somebody telling me it's illegal to do it, and it's not. And it's not, you know, you had to have a legal beagle out there, and the legal beagle did not know what he was talking about.
Yeah, it was funny, man. It was quite the sight to see, that's for sure. I had a lot of fun with it. I think he probably at the end of it realized he was like I'm gonna get he's like, I have an HP Spectrum analyzer, and I think he even got to the point of where he hooked it up at one point. It was like, I'm not seeing anything. There's nothing really at 50 megahertz. I don't know what's going on.
Right. You found yourself a good nitwit.
Yeah, Clark was like, well, it is wet out. Maybe do you have any fences by you? Maybe it's being rectified and rebroadcast by a fence around your house.
That is absolutely hilarious. So you guys had a good time shooting this.
Is that amazing? Not only was there a spur, but there was the proper PL tone and everything.
Unbelievable. But it is good to hear what you sound like. I mean, I'm always curious how well or how lousy I sound.
Oh, man. That was good. That was real good. Sorry, Don.
Oh, yeah, we're just having fun.
Well, isn't that what radios are supposed to be? Fun?
Yes. Yes. And a lot of people need to lighten up and take it that way.
Yeah. I mean, I got...
Sideband station just fired up on 84.
Somebody wants to QRM this, do that 873, not me.
Nah, we're usually pretty good down here till the Texas traffic net fires up, like they did last night. Just talked to a guy down in Georgia, and he was a little light. It was still a little early, and then here comes the Texas traffic net just firing up. It's at 8 o'clock.
The pre-net.
That's right. The pre-net.
That's right. This is the Collins pre-net.
Well, I tell you, I can't wait to get a new radio that I do up. DXNG. And the microphone's supposed to go with it.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get a glass of water. I'm gonna go get a glass of water. W3MMR going to get a glass of water.
Water.
That's how we say it here. WUDDER. Water.
Yeah, water.
Water. Water ice. Chester, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. Water. Cheesesteak. Water.
You're 5'9" plus 25, by the way.
You are plus 20. Your audio is a little low, but you're plenty strong. I can hear you fine.
Yeah, well, if you want to hear strong audio, watch this.
I'll be back.
Okay, how's that for strong audio? KF2GV with the feedback.
That's night and day, OM.
Right, that is back to bombing. That's 25 watts up. That should be at least 10 dB louder theoretically. 25 watts versus 280.
Yes, you're upwards of 30 to 35 over now. So, yep, you're right in the ballpark. I'll be right back.
So, Jack, you mean the only difference between those two is the amp?
Absolutely. Two different radios. This one's an FT1000 Delta with a VO1000 linear amplifier, and I told you it was 280 watts out when I don't talk. For this AM mode. Normally I like to run a hell of a lot more power than that, but I was told 25%, and that's that. So that's why I'm using this one. Now I'm going to switch over back to the other one, which is the HF radio that's connected that you're actually listening to now on UHF. Hold on. Okay, now back on the Kenwood. It's 25 watt
Okay, I see what's going on. I think that the Kenwood is actually undermodulated, but your other rig that has the amp on it is fully modulated.
Okay, now, does that mean I should bring up... What should I do to make it sound better? What should I do?
Well, it's not that. It's just like this rig right now, that I think you said it's the Kenwood, it seems like that mic gain could come up.
Okay, when you say up, do you mean the carrier, the mic gain?
No, just the mic gain, because if I don't know what rig it is, but if it's 100 watt PEP, then your carrier is going to be limited to 20 to 25 watts. But the audio, the mic gain on that rig could come up a bit. Not the carrier, but the mic gain could come up.
Oh, yeah, there's one. Yeah, I can pick the mic gain up. I can hear it. Yeah, it's good when you have two radios. Okay, how is that? That much better?
That is as loud as the other one.
Okay, this is a higher mic. Wide. Narrow. Wide, okay. And now I'll go over to the, with the $650 microphone and the big radio. Hold on.
Wait, $650 for a Yaesu mic?
That's affirmative. $650. Absolutely. The M1. Go look online.
All right. I'm not questioning. I am questioning it, but not questioning whether it's worth. I mean, you paid that.
Actually, I'm kind of surprised Yaesu made a mic that expensive.
Yes, it's unbelievable. Take a look at it online. It's magnificent. I'll tell you what the adjustments are. 63, 125, 250, 500, 1K, 2K, 4K, 8K, 16K. You can monitor what you sound like going out through the headset, that plugs into the microphone. You can adjust the microphone gain, and it's got dual elements, a cartridge, and it has a dynamic, and you can use them both at the same time. Over.
So it has a built-in EQ right on the mic?
Yes. It's unbelievable. Take a look at it online. Listen, you think I like spending $650? I bought my Heil Hitler microphones. They paid $350. They're double the price of a Heil Hitler microphone.
Yeah, but for that kind of money, you could have bought a really inexpensive microphone and just some inexpensive audio processing. But if it's working out for you, then it accomplished the goal.
Oh, it absolutely accomplishes the goal, and it's compatible with the brand new radio. It also works with this FT1000 Delta. No problem at all. So I'm very, very satisfied with it. And how does it sound to you?
Well, it sounds fine, and honestly, since you turned up the gain on the Kenwood, they both sound good now.
Good. Yeah, that was an easy fix.
Don't you love those?
All right, the XYL screen. I got to put the stick on. I'll leave the repeater up. You guys can. In fact, I'll have the HP with me so I can hear you talking. But everybody sounds wonderful here.
Someone's keying up.
Sorry.
Oh man. What the hell?
Quirm.
What the hell?
Quirm.
Hey, you're on a repeater.
Quirm.
HE double hockey sticks.
That's better.
HE double. I haven't heard that since Mighty Ducks.
I'm a scared.
See, now we have to watch our mouths because we're on a repeater.
We need to watch our mouths anyway. You know, we need to straighten up our acts and become good hams, apparently.
Well, I know, but now we have to take on the responsibility of being another control operator for a repeater. You know, it lathers on the layers of burden.
Ah.
So if I was to say the C word, I would have to say like, see you next Tuesday or something?
What was that, Jack?
Hey, I say this. I don't give a damn. Except I don't need whistling and stupid cursing for no reason.
Well, you want to know how I found your repeater a long time ago? You had 7200 on it like all afternoon on Saturday. And I was driving around listening to it saying, oh my God, what is this?
On 7200, and what was going on there?
Oh yeah, I would not leave that as one of your presets. That's the Jurassic Park of 40 meters. That's the wild West. They say whatever.
Okay, so good to know. Okay, thanks for the heads up. I'm going to let you know, put me on the NC. I'm trying to set the fire off with the grill out here.
Well, it's a great night for grilling, so yeah, I would be super avoiding of 7200. There's other frequencies, but that one would be a super bad one to rebroadcast on your repeater, even if you were sitting right there with your finger on the switch, because that's the Wild West frequency.
For the heads up. Thanks for the heads up. I will not do that.
Yeah, and if you give other people the codes to your repeater, tell them don't put that one in either.
But it's nice. Like I said, you can talk. You can definitely hear yourself, and you hear how nice you sound.
Oh, can I hear myself? Yes, I can.
So you won't be making that noise.
Now I got to add the scanner to my muting circuit.
Planet is out there right now, and you can see it. Guys, yeah, it's built up. If you look out there, there's definitely a planet, either Venus, or Mars, Uranus.
Haha, now that sounds like...
Yay. 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 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. Yay.
Now, your audio, unlike Jack's, yours is actually a little too high, I think, for that radio. And I say that because you were like breaking into sideband on voice peaks.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we'll back that down a little bit. Is that a little more tolerable?
I think that's better.
You don't have the processor on, do you?
No, processor's off. Maybe something internal with the radio, because I don't hear people very well on this thing either. There's something been going on with this radio for a couple very much on the air, but I don't know. I want the power right now. No power. How's that? A little better modulation.
Well, it's a bit cleaner, yeah.
My wife has, but I haven't. Okay. But yeah, not a.
I can hear him directly in UHF with repeater system, and I can also hear him directly on HF with remote base. When he goes on the bigger radio, he's got a much better signal than me than the CS690.
Also, you can hear on the repeater also. Oh, okay. Now that's funny. So you're talking over the repeater and then ending up banging in on 2873. This is too cool.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Isn't technology amazing?
I let a Connor. That's Connor in there.
Don't talk over me.
Hey, Connor.
Yes.
Long time no speak upon.
Yeah.
I'll find out if he got the radio in a moment. If everybody quit doubling with him, W1IPC, KB3WFE. Connor, the guys are wondering if you got the flex. Well, something's wrong if it's 3 to ring. I'm not sure who else is hearing you, though. Perry, were you hearing him, too?
Yeah, I hear him fine. What's 3 to 1, Connor? My antenna that I gave you?
Yeah, it says it's 3 to 1. If I could screw the antenna to now. I'll have to go investigate at some point. Probably for an IP system.
Yeah. Yeah, something happened there. Because I know it was a little higher, before you said it was like 1.7 to 1. It was a little higher than when I had it here, but yeah, that's a lot higher. Yeah, something's going on there. Well, be careful.
Well, Connor, good evening to you. Good to hear you. And Clark was talking with another station up to the north there who is trying to get dialed in there, so I'll let them get back to it. W1IPC, KB3WFE, good evening. Thanks, Clark.
Connector off, this antenna off with the here and test it on the analyzer. W4IPC.
Clark, were you hearing Connor at all?
Barely.
Alright, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just heard him in there.
No, that was a good thing. I'm trying to get some other kind of conversation going on here.
So how about those Mets?
Perry, what antenna did you give him?
Just a half-wave dipole. Cut for 3885. Made out of 14 gauge stranded insulated wire. I think it's speaker wire. It's like high quality speaker wire that I made it out of.
So he's running with coax. Has he got a balun on that thing, or?
Nah, he's got an air wound choke on it at the feed point. I think at the feed point. And like I was just saying, the match was fine. Well, it wasn't, real low. It was, I think, 1.6, 1.7 to 1 when he first got it up, and now it's soared into Never Never Land. So something happened.
KC2, love you.
Connor! All right, guys, remember what we agreed on. Nothing was going on wrong here.
Shh.
Now, what you have to remember, Clark, is that I'm always listening at least 10 minutes before I key up.
That makes it rather difficult.
I know.
Clark has been steadily, valiantly promoting Ladies' Night all evening. So, he's definitely promoting the show for you, Carrie.
Oh, well, that's good. I sent off my emails. So everybody had to email and put it out there. I had another idea, Clark.
Oh, really? Oh, and by the way, hear this? That's feedback from the big butt repeater in New York City, which the owner of the repeater was just actually a few moments ago, and I mentioned Ladies' Night coming up, and you never know, it might even be carried on the repeater on Saturday night.
Well, alrighty then. Are you supposed to do that?
It's all good.
That's not really an answer.
You know what? If no one gets killed, then it's fine.
Oh, as long as no animals were harmed in the making of this film? Is that the line we're taking?
That's right. Those are all artificial fur coats you're seeing on those, and those people are actors. So what was your thought?
I remember Bob saying that his wife was a ham, but I don't have his email, Bob Allison, and I was thinking maybe sending her an invite.
I took care of that for you this morning.
Oh, you are so on top of it, Clark.
Well, because I wrote to him last night about getting the logs for the AM rally, but the thing is after I sent him the email, we kind of figured out who Micheline was. Did you get my text, Micheline and Howard, their fund with the RCA and all that?
Yes, I sent an email to Amy, and I'm going to see if she responds.
Nice.
Nice, well thought out, well written, letter. So, we'll see what happens. Anyway, hi guys.
Hey, Clark.
Good evening.
Go listen to the Ladies' Night promo. You missed somebody.
Oh. You talking to Clark?
Yes.
What ladies' night promo?
The ladies' night promo video for W1AW, the voiceovers. You missed one.
Where's this video?
amrally.com, isn't it?
Yeah, but when I missed one when I said what?
If you think of the voiceovers on the promo video, one of the voiceovers has not yet been invited.
Uh-oh.
Well, good news. Real quick before I forget, get back to the conversation a second ago. Connor's antenna is okay. He just put up another antenna today, and I think it's interacting with it because it's a 1-to-1 match at 4 megahertz now. So at least the antenna's not busted. It just has having some interaction issues. Okay, good evening, Carrie. W3MMR. Sorry to bust it up.
Oh no, I'm the one busting it up. Maybe. I don't know. That's good evening to you. Glad Connor's working it out there. I heard him say it at 3-1. That was not good.
And my noise level was low. Not no mo.
Well then, gotta keep the kid going.
So it's the perfect time to come out here and run like 18 watts.
He says they're 5 feet apart, hanging from the same rope.
You're a masochist, Billy. You must be in self-mutilation, too.
18 watts. Timmy was running 8 yesterday.
He waits till nightfall and the static crashes are coming up to start working QRPAM. Do you like beating your head against the wall?
No. It works the same way over here. It's just sometimes they hear me, sometimes they don't. You guys are the ones I feel sorry for.
Life's too short for QRP.
Are you saying that I should increase my power level?
Out of self-respect for yourself and others that are trying to converse with you? Yeah.
Alright, well, I'll have to come back later then. That takes a while.
Oh, so you operate golf cart style, either off the pedal or on the pedal.
Yeah, either piss weak or not piss weak.
I see. Surprisingly, though, I'm hearing you quite well at the moment, but when the band feds the other way, don't get frustrated when I go, what, Billy? I'm sorry, what, Billy? Oh, wait, try that again, Billy?
I repeat myself 100 times for you, Brian.
That's why I like you. That's why I like you.
And that's why I like Class E, because I don't have to wait for it to warm up.
I heard that stuff gives you cancer.
Yeah, only for the haters. Everybody else it leaves alone. Well, everything gives you cancer, you know that? All the preservatives they stick in your food, what you wash your hair with, I mean, everything. Especially if you live in California, it really gives you cancer.
Well, how fast does that thing warm up on 10 meters?
The ones that are built for 10 meters, instantaneously.
You got one?
Is there any propagation on 10 meters?
Yeah, there has been some lately. It's been doing pretty good on FT8.
There you go. What the hell am I trying to do here? Oh, that's right.
I like tubes.
Yeah. Let you know when we get done with that project.
Everyone needs tubes.
I like tubes. Tubes.
What kind of signal do I have at Perry's house right now? Let's see if I can turn it down a little.
You're at like 35 over.
Oh, damn. Hold on. Let me turn it down to like 8 power.
Oh, you're not doing bad here, Billy. It's about 20 over.
Probably overmodulating now. This is like as low as it goes. Probably just a couple watts.
Your font's still 20 over.
Oh, hello. Oh, yeah. The modulation needs to come down, I think. But my 3 diode's catching it pretty well. Yeah, it's got to come down.
So how was the work environment today, Brian?
Insane. I don't know where they all came out of the woodwork today. I turned around and next thing I knew it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so tomorrow doesn't look like it'll be as busy, but today was, and I'll take it. 'Cause damn it, I want it.
Well, I told you once they all got their Trump checks.
I don't know what it is, it's weird. Some days it's dead as a stone, other days we just can't see straight. Well, today was one of the days we can't see straight.
Yeah, we've been consistently busy. We had one really slow week during this whole thing, but honestly, we've been pretty steady the whole time. Our numbers really haven't gone down much, surprisingly. And especially now since people got their stimulus checks, or their, excuse me, their, what are they calling them? Their, the tax credit, it's like a tax credit or whatever, the way they explained it. Anyway, now that they got those, people are coming out in droves.
I think I heard Bob out there. Oh, it was a November 9 is all I got. You're in the noise, man. I probably am too.
That was Connor. Connor, you're like right in my noise level, buddy.
I thought he said... I swear to God, I heard November 9. Hi, Connor.
Well, damn. Okay.
It's alright, buddy. You'll get it all straightened out. You're smarter than like 95% of us on here, so you'll get it figured out in no time. And have more motivation as well.
We should all turn down to Connor's power level.
Yeah, I can't hear you, Connor. Yeah, he's running, I think, 100 watts. And now I'm running 100 watts of carrier. 90 watts.
Come on, Perry. Come down to the 5 watt club with me, man.
Hey, Clark.
Yes.
Maybe this will jog your memory. Maybe. We'll see.
I'm feeling lots of ham radios surrounding men who are ham men.
This is...
Yes, I've already... Uh-oh. Scanner feedback. I have already issued it, but thank you for the reminder.
8 watts.
Nice. Dude, leave it there. You're doing well.
Yeah, 8 watts, peaking at 45-ish. 50 watts.
Where's 1-800-RIGS for lids?
You're almost as strong as Clark.
Oh, you're good.
Strap.
You're not going to strap Clark. I said you're almost as strong as Clark. A couple dB down.
That's because I only send my signal in selective directions.
Well, that time Clark was a lot stronger, so he's messing around.
I've got my feet on the Variac, and I'm just rocking it back and forth.
Come on, Clark. Run like under 10 watts or so. Let's do it.
Okay, this is 100 milliwatts. How's this?
No, it's not. Come on, run 5 watts.
Okay, how about now?
What's this, QRP night?
Everyone needs to run under 10 watts.
Kids say the darndest things, don't they?
I don't know. It really depends if you could hear them.
You hear me.
I heard you that time. Some of us don't have great hearing. Yeah, well, can't really improve the system any better since it's nothing to do with the equipment. It has everything to do with me. I think sounds like a bunch of feedback.
Get yourself one of them fancy SDR receivers. You can hear everything.
Nah. You hear who you hear. What are you gonna do? Anyway. What was I gonna say? I forget.
That's called going right off the mental cliff.
Yeah, it is. I'm having one of those days. It's a little crazy here today, too, so... What are you gonna do? Sometimes life just gets you. But, it was funny last night, Clark. I was on here until, probably, it was almost midnight. I tried to get out of here. I started bowing out of here about 10:30, and I didn't get out until almost midnight. Just people were just coming out of the woodwork last night. I had some really big QSOs. It was a very fun evening.
Oh gosh, I can't imagine why. Well, anyway, the hint is imagine how Saturday is going to go.
Well, I hope it's just as awesome.
So Stephanie's all set?
Yep, that Steph's booked. Of course, I got to send her a reminder text. She's like, just remind me. So, I'll remind her on Friday night, and I think we are good to go. Ladies are going to take over.
Like she's a show.
What's the format for that? Like, are you going to be taking check-ins like you did during the AM rally, or what?
The format is you have to have a rack, and not the kind you put your radio in.
So it's like just you guys talking amongst each other?
Yeah, there is no format. We're just going to get out here and just see how it goes. You know? People might want to chime in or whatever. But basically, the hubbies are going to be in the background, and the ladies are going to be in the front, operating the rig. So we'll see how it goes.
Bill, become gender fluid by Saturday.
You know, I'd have to go hang out with the people with testicles on another frequency.
Yeah, otherwise your Twitch account wouldn't make any sense, would it?
Nah, I gotta change that name. I still got 2 weeks before they're gonna let me change it.
Yeah. You know, even when you change it, it's still gonna be the first and foremost.
Hey, Bo, why don't you start the Manly Man Net on 3873 on Saturday night at 7? You can call it like the Isle of Man Net.
I was thinking about, I don't know, getting off and starting to do like fishing or something.
Clark, are any of those rally videos still up on the AM Rally website?
Well, I mean, they can be. The thing is the only one that's there is the recap. So, because the problem is if you have too many videos up, it slows down the loading of the page.
Okay, no problem. I didn't know if there was any links or anything off to it.
Well, I was thinking of that because there's so many great AM Rally videos. I was thinking of just having like a section with a link. So it's like, hey, cruise through all the previous AM Rally videos by clicking here.
Yeah, okay. Perry was asking about the ladies' night video. I gotta move it to a YouTube page so we can see it from there.
Yes, the YouTube link, direct link will probably be best at this point.
I had was talking to a gentleman last night, Clark, out in Michigan, John, NAQPC, and I have not talked to him since the last time that Jerry, KCZUL, was doing the hill jerks out in the mountains of Virginia, and it was, doing the mobile transmitter with that stuff. And I hadn't talked to him, that's probably 11, 12 years ago, I think, the last time he did that. And he remembered me and remembered that I guess I was like his first land contact or something.
You were Jerry's first AM contact?
No, not Jerry. John, NAQPC.
Well, I mean, with only 3% of the ham radio operators being ladies, it's easy for you to make an impression.
I'm just me.
Well, the XYLs are like a D-expedition all on your own.
Yeah. Well, it'd be good. It's good. It's good promotion. It's a good way to get the ladies out here, and also should make the next AM rally even more special.
Well, so far, yeah, the other potential participants, which are sounding quite good now, is Jennifer, a.k.a. Phil, W2PHL's Jennifer. Tanya, definitely. Mike is pretty much committed to letting Tanya run the show down there at FEF, and she has her own call sign anyway, so never mind the FEF stuff. And you never know, there might be some surprise guest appearances.
Well, that's what we could hope for.
There's still several days, you never know.
Maybe Steve can get Sherry to get on. She's been on before. I've talked to Sherry a couple of times over the years.
Yeah, but isn't Sherry still in Colorado?
Oh, I don't know.
She was in town.
Yeah, that's right, because she kept calling Steve, so she might be.
Hey, Perry.
Yes.
On my YouTube page, KV3WFC YouTube, AM 2020 Radio.
Alrighty, thank you.
I was going to ask you before, Perry. What is it that you do for a living?
I am an automotive technician. I am a Class A automotive technician. Me and Brian are one and the same.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, I have a couple of those here myself. My one son, he works for Ford, and then my other son, he's finishing up his last year of schooling to get his, what is that, the ASC certification, I guess it is?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'm ASC certified. I think I have 4 certs. Suspension, steering, engine performance, brakes, and electrical. It's fun. It's rewarding. Some days it sucks. Some days I hate it. But it's all I've known for the last 19 years, so there's not really too much else at this point in my life that I really want to restart at the bottom and work my way back up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, did you go to school for it, or are you self-taught?
I went to Votech in high school for 2 years. Well, 1 year I went to the actual Votech, and then the other year I was on work release. And went to high school half a day, and then went to work at a shop the other half. But besides that was the only schooling, pretty much 1 year of schooling. And I wouldn't say that I'm self-taught. I owe a lot to the first guy I worked for. He was a master tech and taught me pretty much everything I know, taught me all the good habits, kept me from the bad habits. And then, I spent 5 years there, and then, bounced around from, at a few different shops and pretty much learned a lot of it on my own. But I owe a lot to him. I would say he was definitely the biggest influence on where I am today.
Yeah, all it takes is one good person to really, invest themselves in somebody to, in any trade. That's what my youngest son's doing. He did automotive in high school, and then did the Votech. He did the automotive, like they had an in-school like shop or whatever, and then so he's actually like on his 4th year, really. He's finishing up his vocational training now, because at first he did I don't know, I think he did like small engine repair or whatever, and then he went on to different stuff, and now he's doing like the straight up automotive. I was just curious, because I didn't know how a lot of shops hire, if they obviously I'm sure they probably all want you to have your ASC certification or whatever, but if it's easy to gain employment right out of vocational school.
It is. Not every shop, actually, not a lot of shops ask for ASC certs. It's a big plus when it comes to, making money. But it's definitely not a requirement by any means. Experience is a big thing. But I started off sweeping floors. My dad is where was a mile down the road from my father's house, and that's where he used to take his cars to. And went to the guy and said, look, my son's, is going to be going to Votech, for automotive technology, and, if you need anybody, just to sweep floors and, change oil or something, let me know. I'd really appreciate it. Maybe we can get my son up here. And that's how I got hired. I went up there a few weeks later and had an interview, and I started out sweeping floors and started changing oil, then slowly but surely worked my way up. And by the end of my tenure there, after 5 years, I was pretty much doing all the things that I'm doing today, with the exception of heavy diagnostic work. Like I was doing, engine swaps and transmission swaps and suspension work and, brakes and pretty much all the parts changing, but I wasn't doing a lot of, heavy diagnostic work. That didn't come until, a few years later. But, that's all you got to do is just get your foot in the door at a place. I would tell them just to go to any shop, and I'm still running 9 watts, I forgot. Go to, just any shop, especially local little mom and pop shops, and Brian will tell you this. If he shows the drive and says, look, I'm in school right now, I'm looking to start at a place. Do you guys need anybody just to help out, sweep floors and change oil? And I'm, very motivated and willing to learn. And, I've limited tools. He's got to get a little, some of the basic tools first. But tools is a big thing. If he goes into a place and, says, I got some tools already, they'll be like, whoa, well, that's pretty cool. And just to get his foot in the door. And it'll show a lot to a shop owner, that a younger guy has motivation like that, because there's not many kids coming out of school nowadays and coming up that want to do this for a living. So shop owners seeing a young person with motivation like that, it would be a very big plus.
Yeah, gotcha. Are you still running low power? I don't know if the band's stretching out or my static levels over here have gotten really high. I mean, I heard your whole transmission. I don't know if the band's stretching out or not. I know you guys were fiddling around before.
Yeah, that should be a little better. Yeah, I was running 8 watts.
Oh my God, thank you. I'm literally, I am half deaf, so it's a little tough for me sometimes. And he had no signal, but I didn't know if it was the band. But I appreciate the advice. He's trying to figure out. I mean, he's been working on cars with Kenny since since he could pick up a wrench. So, Kenny has taught him a lot, and then, they've gotten to that point where now, he thinks he knows it all, but he doesn't really. Where the two of them actually go back and forth when they're working on stuff, which I always find funny. Because, Kenny just is like, all right, go ahead, your way. And, I mean, his way does work, but it just takes, twice as long as if he did it Kenny's way. So Kenny just sits back, in the chair out on the pad there and just watches them work and struggle and do their thing and try to get something done. And then they finally, get exasperated after about 2 hours, trying to get a bolt off or whatever it is or whatever, and he's like, are you ready to do it my way now? Goes over, heats it up, whatever, pops it off there and says, there, see, you're done.
Yeah, and that all comes with experience, and time in the business and so on and so forth. And I'll tell you now, there's a lot of parts swappers that guys that can change parts and do it very quickly, but he'll be worth a lot more if he gets his diagnosing skills. If he gets good at drivability diagnostics and electrical diagnostics and stuff, because once you do things so many times, it's like putting together a puzzle. It's just you have an idea how it comes apart or how it goes back together, and a lot of cars are pretty much the same in that right. But when it comes to diagnosing issues, check engine lights and going through the test procedures and not knowing how to read schematics and flow charts and all that stuff is a big thing, so he'll be fine, and it's great to see a young, somebody young that wants to get in the business, because I'm only 32, but I've been in it since, 2001, so I've been in it for quite a long time, and there's just not many young guys coming up. There's a lot of young guys that come in to change, they change oil, and then they're out of the business. They come in, they work for 6 months, and they go do something else. Or they come in and they're lube techs the rest of their life, and they don't take that next step up, and they're struggling to make ends meet the rest of their life. You know what I mean? It just takes a little bit of extra motivation to take that next step, and you go from being in a class where there's a ton of C-class techs and B techs into a class of A techs where there's not too many of them, and you become very valuable to people and make it to the point where you could pretty much get a job anywhere you walk into when you have those kind of skills. So it's good to see. I wish him the best of luck, and I'm sure he'll do fine. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to go get a drink, refill up my glass of water, and probably start slowing down. It is 9 o'clock, and it's almost getting to my bedtime. W3 MMR.
Very good. KC2UFU. Well, thanks for the advice, Perry. I appreciate it. It makes a difference when you're out in the field, he has a very good knack. He is also very good with computers and stuff. So he likes the diagnostics, using the diagnostic tools, and he's got like a laptop that he hooks into his car to run all these things, whatever. So he's got a little bit of both. So hopefully he'll do well. So go get your drink and settle in there, and appreciate the chat here. Over to you, Brian. KB3WFV. Weigh in on the subject.
And 1LF.
And hello to Robin. That's Robin there. Maybe it wasn't Rob.
Yes, it was. Low power. Can you hear me? Hello, radio.
What are you, piss week too?
Nah, I'm running the engine, about maybe 30 watts. I'll put the big one on. I'll be back.
Alright. This crap's gonna have to happen another night, like, I don't know, sometime in December when there isn't 10 over static crashes. KB3WFE. Somebody else pick up Tiny Willie Rob.
Yeah, I'm like, what is it, QRP night when there's like, 90 dB of static?
Is this better?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hello, Mom. Yeah, I know. It's terrible out there. Where is this coming from? Coming out in the middle of the state there, and down in the Gulf of Mexico there. So it's coming into summertime. What a beautiful day out there. Got the lawn done. Went to Home Depot. Got some parts to fix things because she keeps breaking stuff there. Then we sat out in the back again. Then we sat out in the front there. Then we had dinner. And now here we are.
Well, it's much better now there, Rob. Much better for my listening pleasure. Because I can't hear nothing.
What's that?
I say you sound good.
Oh, couldn't hear you. I can't hear one ear and I'm deaf in the other.
And then there's that selective hearing that kicks in too,
All men have that. I remember when Lynn's dad was alive, we were sitting upstairs at the dinner table. I go, Dad, Mom's talking to you. I said, Dad, Mom's talking to you. Mom looks at me, she goes, he's losing his hearing. All of a sudden he looks at me at the corner and looked at me, and you see a little bit of smile coming out. He heard everything.
Of course he did.
I'd like to take a brief moment of silence there for another silent key, another ham radio operator who passed away from coronavirus there, from up here Westchester, New York, from the Weka Club there in Valhalla, New York there. Joey, KC2ESU, God bless you, and thank you for all the fun times that we had with you on the radio. May you rest in peace, and we'll see you someday, but not too soon. Thank you.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. All this frying bacon on the ears is making me hungry. Hello, neighbor, up the street there. I heard you in there earlier. Hope things are well there. So, anyway, well, nothing else new here. So, but we're watching Jumanji again for like the 1100 millionth time.
I'm hearing you on 446-925. You want proof?
There's feedback from a scammer.
Yeah, that's the, what you call it there, I can't remember that club's name there. They used to be on the Empire State Building down in Manhattan there. I used to work on that station all the time. There was a couple of guys that I used to talk to quite often, and one of them moved to Florida. He was a silent key also, but I haven't been. They were having problems with people jamming them and stuff like that. So they were able to, shut the repeater off when they want to, and I guess you were able to code in and use a repeater. But I haven't been on that repeater. What is it? K2QH there or something like that, Clark?
KF. No, what? 2G Victor Golf. It's something like that, but it's a private repeater, but it's rebroadcasting 3873 right this moment. Oh, didn't expect that, huh? See that? We're AM and FM.
No, the Queen's upstairs barking at the top of the stairs. She wants to come down, so with her arthritis and stuff, she wants me to come down and walk down with her. And that was Lily, not Lynn.
All right, good evening, everybody. N1 BCG.
Hey, I was a little disappointed. I didn't get to see the jets fly by here. They went off the flight pattern, and apparently they went over further over towards harvest time and didn't stay in the flight pattern down towards King Street today.
Well, you're supposed to be quarantining in place anyway.
No, from the house. Usually I could see that stuff there. I see when the bombers were flying there, the Collins Foundation, we saw them go in and out there. We figured Round Hill, Jeffrey and Sharon was up in Round Hill and saw them clear. They flew right up over there.
Well, the Collins Foundation has lost their permit with the FAA for flying passengers, so they're done.
Yeah, I know, but like I said, I've been on those planes and I used to see them coming in and out of here there. So we heard some jets earlier, but we didn't see them. So I missed them. I haven't seen those guys fly in years there. I used to go see them all the time, especially the Blue Angels there. I used to see them quite often. So all right, let me go get Lily. She probably wants to go out now. So she's the queen. What she wants, she gets. And when he left. Never mind, she snuck downstairs here and she's laying behind me there because she wants to hear radio.
Wow, staticky.
Bacon. We went over to Home Depot today, and then on our way back there, we were going past Lions Park because I had to go over to the smoke shop in Byram, over there in Mill Street. And I looked in the park and I saw a couple people, and all of a sudden I hear on the radio later on that they were going there and asking people to leave because of social distance. And they were really strict over New York. We did another drive-by by the hospital again. All the police cars, fire department, Portchester came in and drove past the hospital again and thanking all the doctors and the nurses and the people there at the hospital.
Drive-by, huh?
And lights and sirens, not that kind of drive-by. Ha-ha.
N1 BCG.
And me, N1LF. Perry, where'd you go out? The back to pump the water?
No, I'm writing an email.
on it. Clark, I was at Stop and Shop today. I had to pick up some broccoli, and I saw the broccoli rob sitting there. I thought about you.
That's touching. Thank you.
Well, Sharon wants it, and I think Lynn's going to make it there, so maybe we'll do a curve by pickup for you there.
Great.
You tell me, if Lynn didn't cook it and put it in Chinese Tupperware for you to come by and pick it up, you wouldn't come by and pick it up?
No, that's great. It's just disappointing we can't hang out and enjoy it.
I know, but I think of one thing. We're all here to be able to talk to each other still, so we can thank our maker there and higher supreme person there in the sky that we're here, and the ones that aren't with us. So I thank the Lord for that, at least.
That's right. We want to talk to you, not about you.
Not until you sign off. You know, when I cut lawn, the bears go down easier. I guess it's lawn dust. I'll be back. I got to do 12 steps. We're back. Lily just crawled up on her bed, which is my sleeping bag, in the treadmill, and just crawled up there. You know how she is. She likes listening to the radio. And speaking of, how's my little nephew?
Yeah, my dog likes to sit back here too. Just chills out.
Well, ever since Clark helped me set up the radio room here, Lily would come down here and just literally sit behind us and just listen. And there's times I would go looking for her, and she's camped out down here just listening because I leave the radio on. And then I wanted to go upstairs and go to bed, and she growls at me and gets mad, goes, I want to stay here.
Oh, I know. I'll tell my dog, I'll be like, I'm going to bed now. She'll be laying, curled up on, she thinks the ottoman, we call it her little island. You know, there's the ottoman to the couch. She's just made her own, space there. And, she'll be all curled up there, all comfortable. And I'm like, I'm leaving now. And she just raises her head, looks at me, puts it back down. I go up the stairs, I get about, 3/4 of the way to my bedroom or whatever, and I just hear clunk. And she does the slowest walk I've ever seen a dog do as she comes up the stairs. Because I guess she's half awake or whatever. And she's like, oh, all right.
Well, you should hear Lily snore. I'm downstairs here and I hear her snoring, and it sounds like, she's sawing right through the floors here. And I'm like, I hear this noise. I go, it's her snoring. Like hearing Timtron fall asleep at the microphone. But she's the queen. She said her presence when we first got her. What Lily wants, Lily gets. She don't want to move. She don't want to move. She'll growl at you, and she kind of bites you, but she don't bite you. She grabs onto you there, but she doesn't bite. When you tell her no bite. But like we're on the front porch today, and Lynn says, okay, I'm going in. She goes, come on, Lil. Lily's sitting up, she's like kind of grabbing her by her side there. Come on, come on, Lil, come on. And she just lays down. She lays down like I call it the alligator. So Lynn goes in, she's getting dinner ready. So I said, okay. I go in. Lily gets up right away, follows me in.
Yep, Ken will go up before me, and Sunday, that's my dog's name, Sunday. He'll go up and he'll invite her up or whatever, and she just turns and she looks at me and she's like, nope, I'm good. She don't come up till Mommy goes to bed.
She's Mommy's. That's like with Lily. She's Poppy's girl there. And Lily's like a therapy dog. She can feed sense when somebody's out, and she'll sit with him or something, or when I'm upset there, she knows. But she hangs out with me a lot, and I guess because I give her a lot more attention and hug her. But ever since she was a puppy, I would lay on top of her and hug her. And still to this day, Lingo, she's sleeping, but she likes it, and she gives. And you know that you're a dog person, and when I hug her, she gives that sigh. The sign of happiness, you know, that they know that you're there and they love you. But and Clark knows, unconditional love. There's no person. Well, Lynn's good to me, but your dogs, they're nothing like human. Unconditional. I come home, I hug my dog, and I pet Lynn.
Nice. Yeah, we rescued her in October from some. She had a not so great life prior. Figure she spent probably most of her life in a little crate, because her teeth were worn down from chewing on, would have been like chewing on the wire mesh of the cage all the time, probably from boredom or whatever. So we had to reacclimate her to life. Now we're 6-7 months in now. All of her personality has finally come out, and the best part is I adopted her because Ken wanted a big dog. I've always had little dogs, and he really wanted a big dog, and Garrett wanted a big dog, so we adopted her for them. But she just, I guess, for whatever reason, she just decided, she loves Garrett and she loves Kenny, but wherever I go, she goes. I'm working in the office, she's in the office with me. She actually, the other day, so funny, I moved my office because I'm working from home, and I was in the little office, and Kenny's desk is in there too, so it's kind of cramped, and I needed some more space, so we moved my whole desk and everything to a bigger room. Well, she just made herself right at home there. I put a little blanket down for her. I'm sitting there on the computer working, and I hear this noise behind me, and I turn my head. She had grabbed a pillow and drug it in there and put it on the blanket so that, she could be comfortable.
Yeah, and they're unbelievable. Yeah, I see him. She's adorable. And Lynn said, I ruined her dog and stuff. I stole her dog because Lynn would be up on the couch and I would come upstairs and go lay up on the couch there, the short couch. Lynn got me a short couch. She says, well, you weren't here when we picked it up, so I picked you the short one there. So I go up there, and Lily likes getting up on the tail end of it there and wiggle her butt in there and take up all the room there. And she would jump off the couch and she's laying there with Lynn to go over to me. So I says, I guess I've done that to other people, girls that are going out with their dog attached to me. I guess because I grew up with dogs and always had a love them, and I guess just the way I act with them. It's like kids, I get along with kids. I go over people's houses or friends there. I get along with the kids. And somebody says, because I'm still a kid, but I can relate to them. But no, I know what you mean there. It's unconditional love. I come home, Lily and Emma, because it's two of them. Lily's 10 and Emma's 9, and Lily's showing her age because Lily's the worrier. She worries about everybody. She's the nurturer. You should see it with everybody. She's there if you're depressed or sad or not feeling good. You should see her with the 2 grandchildren, the boys. You tell, hey, the boys will come over, and she's going nuts. And she's wiggling. They come in, and she's talking. She's talking and wiggling her butt there. She lays down with them. They can lay on her. They can, kiss her and hug her, everything but pull her ears and stuff like that. But yeah, I come home from work. I walk in the door and Lily's wiggling her butt. Lynn doesn't do that for me.
Do you give Lynn treats?
Yeah, I come down here and I leave her alone.
Well, there you go. Yeah, my life wouldn't be complete without dogs, that's for sure. I've always had them, always loved them, and I had to work with her quite a bit because, somebody messed her up because people are awful like that. But I think through her training and everything, we've gotten such a bond or whatever. And now, here we are 7 months in, and you can leave the gate open to the back. I don't like dogs who run away. That's always been a problem for me. I once had a dog when I was younger that got hit by a car when I was a young kid. So the first thing I always train my dogs is, to come and to stay by you, and to, when you tell them to stay, they stay. So I had to work with her quite a bit, but she's great now. We had the gates wide open today, and the guys were loading soil and stuff like that and doing stuff, and I don't have to worry about her now. So she knows, Mama calls, that's it.
Hey.
Hey.
You want to know who loves you more, your spouse or your dog?
My dog?
Hello, Brian.
Lock them both in the trunk for an hour. When you open the trunk, see who's glad to see you.
Oh, but you know very well if I lock Ken in the trunk, he'd find a way out. There's no locking Ken in the trunk.
He'd chew his own fingernails off to make a lockpick.
He'd probably find a 6-pack of beer he left in there and have a good time.
Yeah, or he'd take a nap or something and be like, whatever.
Yeah, nobody's gonna bother me here.
I think I'm going to pull a plug down here. The static's coming up, guys. Rob, good to hear you. Hope everything is well. And we'll catch up with everybody later. See ya, Carrie, Perry, Billy, and whoever else is on frequency. Clark will catch up. KB3WFV.
All right, Brian, have a good night. Yeah, I'm going to make it an early one, too, actually. 'Cause I've been out here till almost midnight for the past couple nights, so I should probably get some sleep. But I always love talking about puppy dogs. Might be adopting another one soon. So anyway, good to hear you, Rob, and I will talk to you soon. KC2UFU. And Clark, if you're still listening, can't wait for Saturday.
All right, Brian. Yeah, thank you. Everything's good here, and same to you. Everything is good there, and stay safe there. And Terry, also, it's good to hear you. But you know what? My cousin's a pit bull rescuer up here in upstate New York there, up in Albany area. And like I said, I grew up with dogs. I don't think I could be without a dog. And I'm finding, more in all these years that, a lot of those dogs, especially the pit bull, they know you rescue them. They know and they can feel the love that you're giving them in which you took them out of, and they show that, and it's great that you did that. And she's a beauty there. So good luck with things, and hope you and everyone stays well and safe there. So, and when you left, we'll be standing by and listening for a while.
Yeah, you too. You guys stay safe too. We'll talk to you soon, Rob. KC2UFU 73.
Man, it is bad out here tonight.
radio, WA2JID. So, where'd everybody go? WA2JID.
JID. Whiskey Alpha 2. Hello, radio. WA2 JID. Anybody around? Hello, CQ. Hello. WA2 JID. Whiskey Alpha 2, Julian, Delta, calling CQ. WA2 JID, calling Q. Standing by for a call. CQ. WA2 JID calling
irresistibly load it. I do away with the .02 across the secondary, the mod transformer, and if you'll look at the schematic, you know, where it shows the leads from the secondary, the mod transformer going to the accessory socket and the rear, a crap load of these double-aught tube bypasses that are from either side of the mod transformer to ground and the feed to the PA to ground, and you want to rip all those out. They also add up. You know, the total shunt capacity that appears across the mod transformer and a stock Ranger is 30,000 puff, or 0.03. You remove the O2, and now you're down to 0.01 worth of capacity, which is still too much. So you get rid of all those capacitors except for the two that are the bypasses above decks on either side of the RF choke, and now you're down to 4,000 puff, which is not too bad, plus the plate blockers, another 2,000 puff, so you have 6,000 puff, a total shunt capacity, which will have an effect, but, you know, it's something that can be dealt with. Of course, the double-aught 5 across the secondary, the driver goes away. That's replaced with a 10K resistor, and there's a 5R puff cap from the a plate of the second half of the 12AX7 that goes to ground, which, you know, there's the .02 coupling cap going to the grids of the parallel 12AU7, and that gets removed. And you have to put a 1 microfarad capacitor, a non-electrolytic, like a plastic film capacitor rated at 100 volts or so. Doesn't have to carry a very high voltage rating. That's in parallel right across the negative feedback line. And Chuck K1KW came up with that one. So between the resistive loader and that 1 microfarad cap, the Ranger modulator becomes unconditionally stable. But the wild card is that Hammond transformer. I don't know how it compares to the stock one. Is it a step down? Is it a step up? I've heard that transformers type bandied about for years. Is it single plate to push-pull grids, or is it push-pull plate to push-pull grids? That somebody cobbled in, because there's a number of the 124 series, and I'm not sure which one is which. And that has an important bearing on things. The other thing is how the negative feedback is introduced. It's introduced into the grid through a 150K resistor, and that's a piss-poor way of doing it. So I introduce it into the cathode of the second half of the 12AX7, but there's your usual cathode bypass cap across the 4700 ohm cathode resistor, and you got to lift the ground end of that cap and run a 330 ohm resistor from the ground end of that cap to ground, and then at that juncture you half-watt resistor going to the negative feedback winding. So you introduce intravenously into the cathode, which is a far better way of doing it. And the 150K grid resistor on the AU7, which is way too low a value, gets up to 470K. Now, as far as the capacitor coupling caps are concerned, the .02 is an okay value. But my experience with Rangers, the capacitor, just due to age and not that great a capacitor, you think because it's in a molded plastic case that's impervious to moisture. Well, it isn't. They get leaky, and they have to be replaced. And you can replace it with another .02. That is providing that you do what I mentioned with the appropriate changes of how feedback is done. The first stage coupling cap going to the audio gain plot is in the stock unit is 500 puff. I upgrade it, but I don't go crazy with it. I typically use about a .005, and that's 10 times the value, so that's fine. And depending on what you're using for a microphonium, probably a D104, the grid resistor is only 1 meg, same thing in the Valiant. And that needs to be changed to at least 10 megs. And that's kind of a pain in the ass, because what they do is they put the resistor, they shield it with braid, and, a little insulating sleeve, and then a wire, going to the grid of the tube. And, it's kind of overkill and a pain in the ass to deal with. I just cut the thing out and use resistor with extremely short leads. And then the bypass cap across the microphonium feed, which is generally mounted in that shield partition in the back, is 300 puff. What you really want to do is have like a 100 puff disc ceramic or small dip silver mica right on the grid pin of the tube to ground. Does a more effective job. So the other thing is proper push-to-talk circuitry. They use this 20K bleeder resistor with a tap on it to set up the modulator idle and for modulator screen voltage. My mods, that goes away. and the low voltage power supply is used through a set of relay contacts. You need 4 poles of relay to properly stop the Ranger from transmitting and stop it from generating heat, because if you use it the way the factory suggested push-to-talk circuit is, the Ranger transmitter makes more heat in standby than it does when you're transmitting. So, all that being said, you got yourself a project, and what you've done is you're only part way there. W1RCA from WA1HLR.
Okay, fine. So I've done a bunch of mods already, including the TR relay. They're using 4 poles, as you suggest. And on standby, it's a heck of a lot cooler than what it used to be. And then I believe I cut out most or all of the caps and the modulation wiring circuit back to the rear accessory tuner. I think I cut all of those out, but I probably should revisit that once I've got them all out. And that Hammond transformer, I can't remember. I think it's single plate to push forward through. I changed the mic input 500 pump to 0.05. And a few other things. I'm taking copious notes, and we'll probably look at some of these mods. I'm on the Valiant right now. I've already incorporated some of these mods. The 10K ohm resistors, I gotta look at that. I think that's the biggest one I should look at. But anyway, thanks for the info. Your signal's holding up a good 20-30 over S9 on the AR88. Back to you, Tim, from W1. Really crappy audio.
You said it, I didn't. Yeah, W1RCA from WA1HLR. Well, you're holding up well. Now, I'm on the Tungsten 600. It seems like the high static levels, I did have the Valiant on, but there seemed to be just a bunch of trash on or about the frequency earlier. Static and some. It appeared as though there was a little bit of slop bucket activity as well. I don't know what that was all about, but I wasn't sure if it was on the same frequency, but I could hear it in the bandpass. So, boy, it's getting noisier and noisier, and that's typical of summer, the thing is, with the mods I outlined, just doing some of them may be a certain improvement, but you got to do every single one of them if you really want to get the results, and I always emphasize that to people. It's like once you jump into it, you got to do every stinking modification, or else it's not going to work right. The Valiant notwithstanding, but the negative feedback really, assuming you've done every other mod according to the article in the AM window, I think that's what it's up on, is the AM window website. Once the feedback is added, that makes a big, big difference. These were modifications I just looked at the schematic, said, okay, do this, do that, try this, try that, and published it. And a buddy of mine out in Missouri was playing around with his. His was just butt ugly sounding, and well, after he had flat modulator tires too, so when he got good, aired up his modulator tires with good tubes, and It sounded much better, but it was still restricted. Then the following day, and this is when 10 and 15 was happening, and we were always on 15 meters talking with each other, and next day's on, and I said to myself, geez, is that a new transmitter? And he said, no, it's my Valiant. And I said, well, what did you do? He said he hooked up the negative feedback. So it does make a big difference. But in terms of the 6550s, to really utilize those tubes right, you got to make sure everything else is done. Now, one thing about the, and maybe I mentioned it before, is the bias in the stock Ranger is a pair of 4.7K resistors in series that are fed from the top side of the bias. And I replaced that with a 10K pot. And the ash wiper arm directly to the center tap of the driver. But what I've come to like to do is to use a lower value pot, like maybe say 5,000 ohms instead of 10,000, and put like a 2,700 ohm resistor in series with either side, one to the bias and one to ground, so that you have more of a vernier effect when setting up the bias. So, operation is electrically a little more stable doing it that way. And then, of course, a good value electrolytic, like maybe at least 100 or a couple hundred microfarads from that bias point to ground, so that occasional voice peaks that may kick things into grid current will be smoothed out. But being that, using the low voltage supply for screen voltage, it's higher than that of the, I think, when the 1614s are used and that tap on that resistor, you're probably around 250, 275 volts on the screen. So the modulator tubes operate in AB2 when making full modulation. But when you use the low voltage supply, which is a little over 300 volts, then you bring the bias up and you're into AB1. So, you could actually go resistance coupling, which is what I like to do. From the 1991 article I did on the Ranger, and even then, there's been changes made, but basically, the 12AU7 is rewired as the first half an audio voltage amp, directly coupled to the grid of the second half, which is a split type phase inverter. And then you don't have to worry about response limitations of the driver transformer, and the only real transformer that becomes the issue is the modulation transformer, which is tiny anyway. But you can have reasonable low-end frequency response with a stock transformer. It's not great, but it's okay when you're at full power. If you use the thing as an exciter to drive an amplifier, I've come up with some mods to drop the plate voltage on the final and the modulator. The older mods that have been published with my name to them about using the low voltage supply through the accessory plug are null and void. So I've come up with a better way of doing it that makes more sense. But one thing I found is the stock mod transformer in a Ranger goes into core saturation when you pull more than 60 mils through the secondary. So when you're in the low power mode, the plate voltage is reduced to about 330 volts or whatever. It's a little higher than the low voltage supply because A filter reactor in the low voltage supply has a DC resistance of about 300 ohms, and that which is in the high voltage is probably about 80 ohms. So you don't lose as much voltage, so you gain a little bit. So you typically get about, you get about 18 watts out of it. And that's loaded to about 65 or 70 mils. But the audio response is far. When you do, come back on your low-end response would be good down to 50 hertz. No questions asked using the 6550s. So that's the story. But that is with all resistance coupling.
AM phone testing on 75 meters. Yay, testing 1, 2, yay. Yay, testing 1, 2. That didn't work at all. Testing 1, 2, yay. Yay, testing on 75. Testing 1, 2, yay. Testing on 75 meter AM. WA1 Queen item X-ray. WA1Q IX testing on 75. Yay! Testing 1, 2, testing 1, 2, WA1Q IX test.
W1TA.
I might have been off frequency. WA1QIX, N1DBL. Here, Massachusetts.
Yeah, very good, N1DBL and Steve W1TG. I just got to run down to 160 for a minute. I'll be right back. WA1Q.
driver.
Y'all, nice to meet you tonight, and have a good evening. Maybe we'll catch you again sometime soon. N1DBL standing by.
Good night, Steve. N1ALF.
Oh, hey, Rob. How you doing?
So if the tube gets a little, leaky or whatever, you're not going to have that runaway condition. Because I've just about melted down a few of them, things are fine for a couple of years, and then you get into an old buzzer transmission jag, and then the fuse blows, and you hear this little crinkle, and you look around the side where the modulators are through the cabinet perforations, and one of the plates of the 6550s is glowing a bright reddish-orange color as it cools down. So then it cools down, I replace the fuses, turn it on, let it run for 10 minutes or so, and then key it up, and it's okay for a while, but these need to be have a watchful eye kept on them to keep it from running away. Whereas with a driver transformer, that does not happen. But you just have to take a couple of things into consideration when using the 6550s. We'll see you later, Mark. Oh, God. W1RCA from WA1H Yelmars. Getting out of here.
Okay, Tim, talking to me about that analogy where the 50 can't run away like that, self-destruct. Okay, very good. Thanks for the info. And, have a good sleep. Hopefully I'll do battle with not sleeping well. It's not good, but I guess that's part of the aging process. Anyway, 73. See you tomorrow, maybe. This is W1RCA Portable VE2.
Yep. See you later.
Audio. A lot of people out here are you know, really knowledgeable in electronics. There, homebrew stuff, fixing and stuff, and stuff like that. Not saying that, you know, a lot of stuff that's, you know, the newer stuff's out there, but getting on the radio. That's it all counts, you know. A lot of people make their own antennas and stuff like that, and it's a great learning place. If you want to learn something in electronics and stuff, or help you out, there's a lot of people that will help you out there. So I see you running the ALA, what is that, the Amatron, the AL, what is that, that's the 80?
Yeah, I'm running an ICOM 7300 right now. The amplifiers an AL811, so I'm putting out about 8 or 9 watts strong for carrier on the radio, and probably with the amplifier, I think the drive from the amplifier, the carrier is probably around 80 watts. So somewhere between, let's say 320, 350. I could probably push a little more, but I just don't want to blow up the tubes here in the amp. So dial it back, running around 320 watts. And, you know, you get up to 400, and if you can't make it at 400 watts, you're not going to make it at 1500 with the whole, once you get into the whole physics of the thing there. So, yeah, I've been trying to see the whole thing with carrier plus full modulation, and been reading up a lot on that, and learning things about carrier and PEP, and, you know, stuff you needed to know to take the exam, quote unquote. But until you actually put it into practice, it doesn't make sense until you actually have a real world application. So I've been digging back into my my amateur radio handbook, and looking around online, and learning some things like that. I definitely have a lot of room here in the basement to eventually build some stuff. I've been reading also about the Class E radios and things like that, and I don't know if I have the confidence or know-how to do that, but definitely something to look into there. N1 ALF, N1 DBL.
Yeah, we got to break.
Hi, Doug. WA1QIX remote control.
You can't push that amp. You got to run that back there. And I think 8 watts. Maybe it might be a little bit less. You may want to get around 150 to 200 some odd watts. Yeah, you don't want those tubes blowing. AM is consistent duty. It's not like sideband. And you really drive those tubes too much. I'm running what they call a K7D white line. It's a solid state D class rig there. And it comes in 80 and 160 or 80 and 40. We did have a breaking station out there, Doug. Let me grab him right here because the static crashes are bad. The breaking station out there is November 1 Alpha Lima Foxtrot. Go ahead. Yeah,
I'm just saying hi to Doug there, N1 DBL, and hi to you, Rob. N1 ALF, WA1QIX remote control mobile.
Was that you, Steve?
That's me now, right here on 3875. You hear me okay?
I hear you, but was there another breaking station out there before you?
If there was, I'm not aware of it.
AID, I was going to jump in there. Yeah, I think there is another station in there, something AID, I believe, something AID from N1DB. All over to you. N1DBR, I think that's what it is. This is WA2JID, Binghamton, New York. Yeah, I think there's the WA2JID in Binghamton, New York from N1 DBL. Is that correct? Yeah, this is Whiskey Alpha 2, Juliet, India Delta, WA2JID. Name here is Bernie, and here's Steve in there, Merva, and I think there might have been somebody else. Back to you. N1, I didn't get the rest of it, WA2JID.
Right, Bernie, yeah, Whiskey Alpha 2, Julia, India, Delta, Bernie, okay, up there in New York there. Nice cars there, Bernie. Yeah, we have you, but not too loud there due to the static crashes. And we do have Steve, WA1QIX, and hello, Steve, and welcome back to the airwaves there, so.
All right.
very good. Steve, we'll turn it over to you. We have Bernie out there. Jeez, I forgot his call sign. I'm bad today. Well, you pick it up, Steve. You'll figure it out. Steve, I guess we lost you. All right, so maybe Steve's adjusting himself. I heard another breaking station out there, but we'll slide it back over to you, Doug. N1 DBL there, and see if you can, after that, see if you can pick up that other station there. Over to you, Doug.
Yeah, N1 ALF, N1 DBL. I heard Steve in there, W1QIX, and I got Bernie JID. I didn't catch the other station there, but Steve, thanks for coming back. I think you said, I think I talked to you before. I think you said you were located over in Townsend, Massachusetts, and I'm located here over in Gardner, so not too far away at all. Over to you, Steve. W2QIX N1 DBL.
I don't know what happened with Doug. He was testing there. So we did have another breaking station. See if we can pick him up. The other breaking station? Go ahead. It's November 1 Alpha Lima Foxtrot.
They're coming in there. It's W1GTX.
Sorry, I disappeared. Hang on, make sure I'm double.
Right now, Steve, I'm trying to get somebody else who's out there, but it's static.
I just heard the tail end of W1GTX, so I don't know what's going on. I had a phone call there. I had to take that, so I'll listen for a bit and get the gist of the conversation and be back. This is WA1QIX remote control mobile.
There we go. Got some power now. Hey, Steve, how's it going? This is W1GTX.
Yeah, good. I'm hearing you guys perfectly. Are the other stations in here, Rob and Doug and Bernie? Are they still on frequency here?
Yeah, I'm still here. N1 DBL, Doug in Gardner, Mass.
Yeah, good. Make sure I'm not doubling here. Yeah, Doug, good too. Good to hear you. Of course, we've got all kinds of other folks in here now too. Nice spoken here. Well, yeah, Doug, I think this is our first conversation. I don't have you in my logbook, or I didn't, but I got you in now, N1DBL. This is Steve, WA1QIX, running remote control. Transmitter facilities are located in Townsend, Mass. And the new home QTH I just moved about 3 weeks ago is Mirror Lake, New Hampshire, up there in the town of Tuftonboro. So I'm remote controlling a station in Townsend, and we'll see how that goes over time. So right now it's working, but it's a 2-hour drive from Mirror Lake to Townsend. So if I have trouble with it or something like that, I'm going to have to figure something else out. So anyway, I did want to say hi to you and everybody else in here. Nice group. So over to you there, and pass it around to the other guys, N1DBL and the group WA1QIX remote control.
Yeah, Steve, I think I talked to you guys on the early guys net on Saturday morning. I think you were in there in Lexington, and I think you were going mobile and had to drive down to Townsend from New Hampshire, so I lost you there. But yeah, kind of new to the whole AM thing, and kind of just checking out and seeing how things are going, running an ICOM 7300, and trying to keep that pretty low, around 8 or 9 watts, and just running around 80 or 90 watts carrier right now. So I don't want to push the AL811, but trying new things out, being home here with the whole quarantine or whatever you want to call it for lack of a better term, and just figured I'd try something new. Over to Rob, if you're still in there, N1 ALF, N1 DBL.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, well, you're doing good, and like I said, welcome to AM. Stop in. We got people in between here and all the way up to 885 there. The AM carrier net Doug kicks off on Sunday mornings on 3.835. That's 3.835 at 8 o'clock. And Joe from Stonington, Connecticut, N1VIV is hosting that. So if you'd like to stop in and try out some more AM, you're more than welcome there. So it's good to hear you. And Steve, it's good to hear you. I'm glad you're getting settled in there on your move, and glad everybody's well. So we're going to pull the plug. We had a long day here today, so we got a fix-it list tomorrow that we have to take care of because we went to Home Depot and things that are breaking, we got to fix. So we'll say 73s for now, and it's great to meet everybody. And always, Steve, it's always a pleasure. And Doug, like I said, welcome to AM. Bernie, good to talk to you. And we'll say 73s. And we'll turn it over to Bernie, and you can take it from there. So good night, guys. N111 over to WA2JID.
Yeah, okay. N1ALF and the rest of the group, WA2JID here in Boston, New York. Beautiful day here today. Very close to 70. I think about 60%. I'm not going to stay in there too long. I'm going to take a shower and just come back. Have a good time. Look at how we am for a long, long time. I'm not looking for the speed. Nice thought there. But anyway, Dave, you sounded great there. It's doing great. I brought a KPA 500 amplifier, my aircraft. But anyway, for that, I'm going to just listen up. So, for that, I'm going to use Steve. I don't know if who else is in there. Someone DBL is there also. So I'm trying to go over to Steve, we'll copy him, and hopefully you're not down the hole where you're not getting any cell service. After it's WA1, which be our facility. We're going to listen now. 7
Okay, very good. Very good. I'm hearing it pretty well. Not super strapping, but pretty strapping there, Bernie. Very good. Good to run into here again. Yeah, we've talked before, but I think it has been a little while, and so very good. Good to hear you here tonight. And I think it actually goes over to W1GTX there. So let me pass it that way, and then I think it goes back to Doug N1DBL. So W1GTX, how are you hearing everybody tonight through this? There's a bit of static propagating, and this is WA1QIX.
Well, WA1QIX. This is W1GTX. Good evening, Steve. And everybody else. Yeah, no. Well, the 392 is doing quite well, receiving pretty much everybody on the 80 meter loop. We go on the Dinosaur, the T13, pushing the power. I was checking in earlier. I had the DC375. I finally got it going. We had to do some altercations, minusing stuff out, and trying to get the D104 to power through it. It kind of produces some weak audio, but for an 80-year-old transmitter, it kind of does all right. And then when I was trying to check in and people were kind of bouncing back and forth, I was like, whenever I switched back over to the T13, even though that's 75 years old, it kind of goes all right and a little bit better and really cranks out the 100 watt. So maybe in between the go-arounds, I'll flip off the AC supply and kick it off the dynamo to really get them going on it. For the AL811, I have the 811H. If you really want to push the power out, you switch tubes over to 572Bs and it pretty much bulletproofs the amplifier. So I was told. I got to do that as my point, but really I got a lot better things to spend $300 and something on tubes on. But I can just work on AM and got to fix the T368, and then I can push 400 watts AM, and I'll be happy. So, all right, I'll get that call sign ready. Doug, over to you for the W1GTX. Yeah, I'm on DBL here.
but he's not covering you all up. Hey, I'm taking you a picture or something here. I'm going to pin you.
Okay.
Yeah, Brian, you're up there too. You're over him a good bit.
A good bit. I might have to turn on my compression or something.
Nah, you're fine.
Okay. Wow, even Dan is over it. How about that?
Yeah, hey, Dan.
What's happening, Dan? You'd better stop jamming the Quirmer. If you know what's good for you. Not fine at all. Hey, Bob, so you got a little display there of Joey Michaels. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he brought me that stuff up about a month or a month and a half ago, and he's cutting the DVD back out. Of course, it won't go anywhere, but he brought all that stuff up and give to me.
That was nice of him, and he signed it too, so that's pretty cool.
Well, the incident ties back to Buddy Holly.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like that, but it sounds like Buddy Holly or
Hey, I have to sign out, make sure I'm not doubling. I am destinated here, so I'm going to sign out and say 7-3s. Good to hear everybody in here. Nice group. And we'll catch you all later. Doug, nice to meet you for the first time. So this is WA1QIX Remote signing for now. And we'll hopefully catch everybody tomorrow or over the weekend on the Lonely Guys.
Alright, sounds good. 7-3, Steve.
Yeah, I think I'm going to shut things down fairly soon and head upstairs to bed. I got to do a